playing with us. That's why, these guys, they know how to play with us.
Play a lot of music. Usually we never have so much.
We pay for the time, and then they put on the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We are on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. We have a great show for you tonight. I'm going to introduce my co-host, Neil, everyone's voice of reason.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good time on vacation on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, the flood and whatnot.
Yeah.
And also the Shavuos holiday.
And the Shavuos holiday. I hope you had flowers growing out of your house.
And cheesecake. And they make different kinds of cheesecake.
Different kinds.
Like,
you can go broke buying each cheesecake.
I know.
And they're expensive, but they're good.
They're very good.
They're not like the old days.
No. It's much better today.
So, yeah, hold on. We have
I'm sorry.
We have a special guest today.
You didn't introduce me.
Okay, fine. Let's introduce the host, the main guy.
The main.
Uncle Heshy.
Did you say Neil was your voice of reason?
Yes.
Yes, that's all I know.
Okay, thank you, Hesky. Welcome, everybody, to another great show. Welcome back. It's going to be an exciting show. We have a lot of things to talk about that happened. I have some good quotes, but before I start my quote, we do have a special guest, which I'm going to introduce, Hesky.
Go for it.
Rabbi Nachum Rosenberg from Williamsburg, an expert on child molestation and child pornography. He's going to explain to us, whoever doesn't know, even if you do know, understand whatever
what's going on, the signs.
We're going to get into that. He will explain to his opinion. He has you have if I remember, a call-in, right? A call-in number?
No, I just solicit. Nobody calls in.
No, you don't call in, but they call in a phone number and they listen to you speak.
Right.
And
in Williamsburg, you're allowed to use phones still?
Right.
Okay.
But he has a hotline. You call in and you speak for what, like 20 minutes?
No, every week about 2.5 hours.
You call into this, it's like listening to a radio show, 2.5 hours.
Isn't that crazy? Being able to talk for 2 hours? I wouldn't be able to do it.
Put it on speak, whatever. We do it for 2 hours.
But I'm talking to you, I have to keep myself company.
No problem. Anyways, everybody, I want to, this quote, Neil's going to really freak out on this. I'm sorry, Neil, I have no choice.
Oh, I feel the love coming through.
Okay. To me, Neil, this is my own quote. To me, living life, what are you laughing? Give me a second. To me, living life isn't about wearing suits or looking good or living the high life. It's about being true to yourself, your ideas, and focusing on the essentials, on the essentials of being good and kind. And
how'd you come up with that?
Tell you
You're
what,
so full of crap.
I'm telling you, I came up.
Stole that from 4 different people.
Not this one.
You put it together.
This one I put together. But okay, that's what you got it. You got it. It was 2 different people.
Okay.
But Neil, I have a question for you. When we walked in today to the studio together, right? We were sitting outside. We were standing outside talking a little bit.
For a minute.
Right. What happened during that minute? Say the truth. Say the story. What happened to us? Somebody walked by.
Oh yeah. Some fellow walked by and he said he's hungry. If he just started a job today, he gets paid on Friday. He's going to be an apprentice for an electrician.
Whatever, yeah.
No, let's get.
Okay.
Hey, you want the story?
I got it, right. Okay.
And he says he's hungry, and you put your hand in your stomach. You couldn't get anything out, so you put your hand in your pocket, and you gave him some money.
Okay, you see, and what?
You should have given him a sandwich.
But we didn't have time to go.
We didn't have time to go, and we were right there. We wanted to show,
stuff.
but that is called goodness and kindness. Maybe he was telling the truth.
Yeah, but when some
maybe
guy
he's
asked
not.
me for a cigarette, he was like, "No, you can't ask, you can't give him a cigarette. He looks crazy."
Well,
Pick some chooses.
Anyways, the point being is that's my quote tonight. Now, everybody.
And I believe, by the way, a crazy person deserves a cigarette too. So
right,
I'm not into
I
that.
give one too. I give one.
Hello, we were walking the street, and you were like, "Essie, don't give him a cigarette. Don't give him a cigarette."
No.
That's what I thought.
Neil,
you make your coolers better.
Neil,
plus, we were 5 people. We were 5 people, and he was
a
afraid of this one guy. I couldn't give him a cigarette.
You were walking. He was a crazy man on the street screaming and talking to himself. I said, "Esky, stay away from him."
He asked for a cigarette.
But he was screaming on the street to everybody.
Doesn't mean he doesn't need the cigarette.
Over there, and it was very cold.
It was very cold. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Of course, I was.
Listen, I'm not telling you to go into like a maximum security prison half naked,
right,
with a pack of cigarettes between you.
No, but I was trying to protect
you're gonna
her.
Get it,
Neil, I was trying to protect her.
I know.
Okay, fine. I don't know.
But you were right there with me. What
doesn't make a difference. Why
I didn't want to start having a fight with a guy and this and that.
You see how they talk?
Dangerous.
That's what the women do. They don't really
because
care.
they go to the lowest point. They go to where could they get you?
Right.
Where could they get you? Instead of of looking at all the goodness that a guy like you does.
Okay, be quiet.
No, I'm serious.
Before we start, Esther, you got to tell us where we are tonight and who's paying for the show.
Yes.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right.
Neil.
Can I
So,
get a sample?
yes, you guys, you are listening to the Just Enough Heshy
Whoa,
Show.
I just
We're on Monday and
disconnected
Tuesday
myself.
from 7 to 9 p.m. You can get us on Facebook, Just Enough Heshy, Twitter, follow us, hashtag Just Enough Heshy, Heshy spelled Heshy. We are live on YouTube if you want to see what we look like and the ranting and the raving. If you'd like to advertise with us or send us an email, just email us at justenoughheshy, again, Heshy's Heshy @gmail.com. You can call in at 718-303-9090.
Did you tell them about the Twitter? Because I've been doing a lot of twittering. I've been doing a lot of twittering. So go ahead.
You know how.
I'm learning. Go ahead, Esty.
So yes, we have Mr. Clean. He is Brooklyn's premier dry cleaning pickup service, and he's Brooklyn's world premier. Not world, just Brooklyn. Okay, they're offering world-class service and the best prices in the industry. They do pickup and delivery free. You can reach them. You can email them at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com. If you mention the Just Enough Heshy Show, you get 25% off. Oh, by the way, I went to him. He was very cheap. I went to different cleaners. I asked them. They didn't want to do it. They said it would cost me $700. He gave it to me for $139.
Wow.
I don't know how that makes
Okay,
sense.
because he's a good man.
A wedding gown.
Yeah.
No, it was a whole bunch of stuff. I was like $700. I was like, okay, I just wanted it done. But he's like, no, $135.
Are you
I was
done
like,
with?
sure?
Are you done with the ads?
$700.
$700. It's expensive today to go.
Do me a favor.
Okay. Go ahead, Esther.
So yes, you can call Mr. Clean at 347-369-3051. We have Palm Gardens, our adult daycare center. If you want to take your bubby somewhere just for a few hours.
All right, for the bubbies.
Yeah, right. You can call Ellie at 917-903-5375. We have the Black Label electronic cigarettes. You can go to blpremiumesig.com or call Mikey at 561-239-5941.
Yeah, good, Neil. You had a good drink? Good.
Yeah. So we have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance, violations, permits and plans, preventative maintenance, lift stop work orders, and they do free consultation. They get you to the finish line. They care, and they'll help you out. You can call them at 718-871-0382. Heshy, it's all you.
Okay, everybody.
And some me.
Okay, and a lot of Neil as well. How
Okay,
are
fine.
you? Neil, I want to introduce you to Rabbi Rosenberg from
Good evening, Rabbi.
William
Good evening.
Williamsburg.
How are you?
And I just want to give you
Welcome
a quick thing. You heard my introduction of him. He's about child.
I only saw that somebody once tried to damage his body once, throwing some poison at him or something.
Bleach.
That's
Bleach.
the only thing I know about him.
Well, Rabbi Rosenberg, explain to us who you are a little bit, and
What do you do?
And I like to hear that story too. I never heard that story.
I'll tell you all the stories. Anyway, hello everybody, and thank you for giving me the time for the show to talk. Okay, first of all, what I do for the past maybe 17 years now is I'm trying to get the community. It's not only the Jewish community, but I work basically in the Jewish community because I live there and I know the problems, and I'm trying to get
Awareness?
the awareness. That is
Yeah.
exactly what I want. Only the awareness.
Mhm.
The awareness on the danger, or the awareness on the criminal side of it.
Why are we into?
I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. Okay, fine.
Introduction.
Okay.
Okay. The awareness is, it goes like this. A lot of rabbis are hiding this subject under the carpet, and they call this, it's against modest to talk about sexual abuse, which is deadly wrong, because if you read in the Torah, it spells out everything exactly. So what
I don't know where does it say that?
In Parshas Achrai, you will find all the sexual non-behaviors that a Jew is not allowed to get engaged in, and it's talking about everything.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Really?
It tells you
Because I
about-
mean, I know in the olden days it wasn't. There was no age limit
Right.
on any of this. So how does that work
And
out?
if I remember correctly,
They could
that-
have a wife
that they
that's 3 years old. Like I don't know.
Right, and also I heard that you can even rape a woman and nothing should happen to you as well. Doesn't make a difference what age.
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to get involved in this
Right.
debate because
Oh.
this can take 2 hours.
Okay.
And I don't want to get sidetracked because I'm not here to teach you where and what. If you
Okay.
want, I will come on another time to show, or I
No.
will give you all the
No problem.
places where it is. But for the time being, it does say in the Bible, in the Chumash, in the Torah, about all the the things that a Jewish person must not do. So the rabbis try to hide everything because it went out of proportion in the Jewish community and probably as well in the Catholic community and all over. And the fact that they're trying to say is that they weren't able to talk about this because we have a problem, because it's against modest. Now, just before we get involved, I'll give you an example. Would you believe that a girl that starts to get her period would not even be taught about that?
Yeah, I've heard very horrible stories
And
about that.
then what she would do is,
is that true?
Okay.
Yeah, this girl thought she was dying. She had no
right,
idea.
and then what she would do is she would go to a friend in school, something is bleeding, what's happening with me? And then the girl would say, this is part of how you make babies and everything, but she would never even teach her about the sanitary point that you have to clean yourself and watch yourself. And all this went under the carpet of modest. Now, that's not finished yet. To rape a boy, to have anal sex, oral sex,
And a girl doesn't make a difference.
no,
Who
that makes no difference. But
Okay.
I'm saying,
Young girl, okay.
You got to move it on. No?
so to do all these things were not even spoken about in the community because it's against modest.
Crazy.
And therefore, there was a very, very big destruction for the past, God knows, maybe 50 years that I can call it back. Now, the Jewish people have something which no other religion has, or at least I don't know about, and that's called the mikveh, a ritual bath. Now, a mikveh is made strictly only for ladies. After her menstrual period, she has certain days to count, and then she cleans herself and she goes to the mikveh. Now, what they did is they started off to get men and boys also to go in the same mikveh. Now, I teach all the women on my hotline that they really feel that just like when they go to the mikveh, everything is secluded. Nobody knows. It can be a mother and a daughter in the same mikveh, and they wouldn't even meet each other. We make special arrangements with ways to go in from the parking lot and to go out. It's unbelievable how much effort we put into it. So now they started that boys should also go in the mikveh. Why? Because the cleaning lady, the maid, cleans Friday before 12 o'clock. The boys come home after 12. So the mother is too lazy to wash the bathtub afterwards. So she sends her for $1.50, go in the mikveh and cleanse yourself. So I explained to these women, do you think that the mikveh of the women is the same as the mikveh of the men? In other words, you think you're in a private room, taking a shower, buzzing a bell, somebody comes and picks you up, escorts you to the mikveh, takes you out from the mikveh, puts you back into that room. It doesn't work that way. In a men's mikveh, it's one big pool with naked people there.
A locker room.
No, the pool. You're going into the pool. It's a swimming pool.
You can't go by yourself.
Sure you can. No, you're saying the room is like, a locker
A locker room, but you only
Right.
use the pool by yourself. You
No. See, now I'm going to explain it to you.
Okay.
It's a place where 10 people can go in together according to the square footage.
Right.
And they would push in 50, 60 people, especially on the short Fridays where time is of an essence. And they have pedophiles waiting for these children hours and hours to molest them. And until I started the fight against molestation, people would see how the children would be molested, and nobody would even open their mouth to say a word.
Wow.
And this is what bothers, because it all comes in the name of what they call religion. You have to go to the mikveh.
It's not, it's fair. They know it's not. They were supposed to say something.
I know. Now, the basic knowledge that I got from these 15 years fighting, I found out two things. Why are the rabbis sticking up for the pedophiles? Because in truth, we have no problem with pedophiles. They go to jail. We have problems with the rabbis. What do? If somebody molests a boy, he comes to the rabbi and he says, listen, I molested this boy, I raped this girl, here's $50,000 on the table, and make sure it doesn't come out.
And which rabbi is that? I'm not sure.
Most of them.
You telling me
Are
most
we
of the
have
rabbis-
names on most of the holiest and biggest?
Tell us
and-
one. Tell us one.
This is something that I don't think that I want to get involved here because.
But
it's-
everybody knows your opinion. Everybody knows who
but,
that is.
But once I get too personal, then it's going to start off.
But
Why
I
didn't you
want
say
to know
this
who
or
to
this?
stay away from.
From everyone.
All the rabbis. They're all no good.
And they're
There's gotta be.
all
Okay, how
no
about this?
good.
Do you know?
Sounds good
Okay,
to
but
me.
question:
Listen,
do you
I
have
like
one that
the
is good?
rabbi.
Okay, but do you
Oh
have
yeah,
one that
there
is
is
good?
a lot of good rabbis,
Fine, so
but
if you
not
can't-
the ones that protect pedophiles.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Who would you say? No,
Go ahead,
Who
go
would
ahead.
you say we could trust? Since you're saying we have no idea that most rabbis, not most,
Wait
that
a minute, you
we-
should not trust the rabbi for anything because once you give him the amount of money, he also becomes.
so there is
crooked.
no rabbi we can trust.
You got to go to the police.
There's no rabbi you can trust.
Well, you can trust
Just-
them, not when there's big money
Just
involved.
give me one honorable guy. You're saying that nobody's honorable. There's not one
But
rabbi who's a
here
good
again,
person.
I told you I don't want to go into
Okay.
No,
details.
I'm saying tell me a good one, not a bad one.
Again.
They might not remain good.
That's right.
all.
That's
He doesn't
right.
want to say go to somebody,
But there's no
and then when you
guarantee
go
that
there,
they
you
will
get
be
screwed.
good.
It depends on the
There's
price.
no way to trust people. That's horrible. I'll be a rabbi.
Can you
Money
trust-
won't talk.
Can you trust a politician?
No.
Never.
That's it. It's the same.
No,
So-
but it's no. How can you say that? There's got to be one person. Okay, cops, right?
Again.
Some of them come there to become people, to help people. Like, your mic's not
My
working.
mic's not working?
Oh,
Oh,
there
now
you
it
go.
is. Go.
Oh, now I'm here. All right. Let's kick. Okay, I just want to explain something to you. Rabbi Rosenberg is telling us about rabbis that have positions. He's not telling us about holy people that sit and learn all day in a base medrash or
Oh.
things like
No,
that.
they do.
He's telling you about people that run organizations. They are the head of it.
Non-profits.
Right, all the
I
nonprofits,
love
exactly,
guys.
you
I
know,
love you.
and all the, the yeshivas and the communities and this and that.
Okay, I don't trust
But
him
he's
either way.
not talking about some pious, wonderful
That's what I was
Jew
wondering.
who gets up in the morning, goes to the synagogue, and he comes home, and he goes back, and that's it. He
Okay,
doesn't
let's
know
get
from
it.
nothing.
But usually that rabbi that's very pious and he does his work, he doesn't get involved in this whole
Correct.
deal. He does not
Correct.
get involved.
That's my
So,
point.
wait, so you're condemning people who can't do, who don't know how to get involved. You're condemning them for not having the skill to know what to do. If they're
I'm
really
not.
holy,
They
No.
say go to 911.
He says
There's
call
a system.
911.
Listen, this
There's a
country
system,
has a
right.
system. I don't know how rabbis they infiltrate in the system of the law. I don't know what they're doing in the law system.
Okay.
Okay, now let
Now,
let me
I want
continue.
to ask. I want to ask a question because we're going to open up the phone line soon. I want to know something as well. I'm not asking you to teach me, but here's my problem with this. Today, in my community, I don't know about your community, but in Borough Park, I've recently now, you lived there with me, Neil. Have you heard of pedophiles in our neighborhood? Maybe not even one case.
Yes.
One.
Many cases.
Okay, fine.
are you kidding me?
we
Everyone
have
I
about
know.
95 arrests between Williamsburg and Borough Park
In the
the last
last
5-6
Borough
years.
Park?
Yes, of
Between
course.
Williamsburg and Borough Park.
Okay, and number two, I know one thing that my parents are old timers in a different planet world, and I'm also an old timer. But I know one thing: most of my neighbors in community, even the Chassidim, they sit their kids down, and the mothers do when the kids are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't touch me. Don't let nobody touch me. Run away. Don't give anybody candy. So most of us, and I believe the Chassidic
That's very
community
new,
too.
by the way.
It's not. They've been teaching this to kids, even the Hasidic community, Williamsburg. They teach this to you. Everybody knows this as a parent. Rule number one, that this is rule number one, that you teach the kids about not taking candy from a stranger. It goes back to many years. You're telling me the whole Williamsburg is just stupid?
No,
And they
these
go to
aren't
the- wait,
strangers.
excuse
These
me.
aren't
They
strangers.
are strangers. They go to Williamsburg. They go to the mikveh. The kid says, and now I don't want to knock you, but in the non-Jewish community, they have these locker rooms, football rooms. They have the same thing. They don't have. It's for men. It's for men. Women's for women. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I do know the stories that happened, and I know many of them. My point being is that you're blaming somebody, and the truth of the matter is, I don't really hear that it happens there. I mean,
I don't get you.
Okay,
I don't understand
let me
you.
explain
What
to you
don't you understand?
something.
Neil,
If you
what doesn't
want to
Neil understand?
argue on everything
I'm
that
not
I say,
arguing.
I'm doing this for 16 years,
Yeah.
and we have hundreds of cases, and
Hundreds?
only
Yeah.
a minimum comes to court because of the rabbis, because they threaten, they ostracize. I'm in ostracization 8 years, thank God. I don't have a decent place where to daven.
wow.
Yeah, wow. So let me
What,
tell
they
you.
threw you out because of your
Yeah,
opinion?
they have big chedems here. I have it. I bought it
I
along.
can't believe it. They have no
Big
right to do that.
chedems. They have no right. They have no right letting the children being molested either. But if you're not going to let me come to, to a point, then it's just a waste of my time. I want to explain to you what happened. Okay. In these 16 years, I've learned that why are these rabbis protecting these pedophiles? What is their interest? So I learned two basic things. Number one, the pedophiles pay them off money, big monies. Number two, if you go in any other community than the Orthodox community, you'll see safe sex, and they tell you that you should use condoms. The schools get condoms, and all that amounts to millions of dollars for the government. They don't give this to the Orthodox communities or even the non-Orthodox communities because the rabbis claim that we have a system of how we control the youth. And there's no sex.
What?
There's no molesting.
They don't believe that.
Okay. And we have to get that money. And they get millions of dollars from the United States government. And they are supposing the ones that are doing all the goodies. Now, I told the government it's full of baloney because I tell the government if there was such a good system that they can use, why don't you use them for public schools too? The only difference is, in public school, I can talk whatever I want. Every child talks whatever they want. And by us, the first thing they do is they ostracize you. They pick you up, they throw you out, they take your children and they throw them out from the community. They run you out. They poured bleach in my eyes. I was shot once also. No. Look up in the Daily News about 10, 12 years ago. And what they did, you wouldn't believe the intimidation. I'll give you a short story.
Go for it.
Okay. By the way, Rosenberg, Z just joined us. Yeah. He's one of our co-hosts. He's one of the one of the younger community representatives like Esty. So we have a young man and a young woman.
You have some perspective.
And then you have me and Neil, the old wise guys.
Oh, he's also
by the way, Z, welcome. Yes. You just joined. Do you know where you are? You saw how late? Maybe you came late for a reason. You got lost.
I was still a couple hours behind from China.
But where did you show up now? Where did you finally show up to? Z? Tell us, where are you?
I think I'm on the Just Enough Heshy show.
Well, Z is not going to be able to take some questions till Mr. Rabbi Rosenberg explains more. But if you want to call into the show and ask questions, we're taking calls in a few minutes. After Esther does some ads in a few minutes. 718-303-9090.
I'm sorry that I missed the first part of the show.
Tonight, it's getting better. He's getting into the deep of it. So call in 718-303-9090. Rabbi Rosenberg, continue. I'm sorry.
Words.
Okay, now.
Poor choice of words.
Yep. Now what happens is that these people control the community, that nobody should even speak out. So because I have a hotline, I was ostracized. In fact, you shouldn't even sit so close to me. You got to go 4 cubits away.
Is that the rule, Neil?
Otherwise, we'll get in trouble also for association.
No, they put you in a cherem, a real cherem?
Yeah, I brought along the papers. You can have copies of it, and you will see. It says nobody's to be in my 4 cubits. Nobody's to talk to me.
Wow.
And I don't have a shul where to go into.
But who are these people that listen to it? Like who? Like for me, I do.
Well, let's put it this way.
I do all sorts of things. Nobody says anything.
How many listeners do you have?
Community.
How many
in the heavy thousands?
You have in the heavy thousands calling a day
20,000. No, not a day. Every week. I give a lecture every week. Okay. And I also have now in Israel. I made one in Israel.
Wow.
You don't realize that rabbis are very powerful. What they say,
that's
the
what
people in this community follow blindly. It doesn't matter if it makes sense.
That's it. Even if your daughter was raped and she's pregnant, they would tell not to say anything. This went on without solace so many times. There were girls were raped. They were impregnated. That Sola came to pick him up. They took him to the hospital. The police were waiting outside from the door, and then they came back, and it was all over. And they said, we want to speak to the girl because, the detectives wanted to talk to them. They said, the rabbi says it's not modest. You can't talk to them. Now, I was involved in a few closed cases.
Wow, Neil.
Now, wait.
Neil, is that true?
I believe it's even crazy.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you something. Everything that I say, I can prove. I mean, it's all over in the papers. And we know, I'm a firsthand. I listen every day to cases. But I want to first continue a little further so then you can get the full picture. So anyway, that's why the Jewish community is very isolated, because they're afraid of the rabbi. They're afraid to throw out the children. They're afraid this, they're afraid that. In fact, this week I have on my hotline an interesting story. There was a photographer who raped a girl. and they threatened the father of the girl, and all of a sudden everything quieted down. Now, the first thing that I spoke to you about is the mikveh. The mikveh is the biggest killer for the Jewish people. Now, because of my awareness, a lot of people don't let the children to go in the mikveh anymore, and there's no reason for it. And I also say that even big people shouldn't go to the mikveh because these pedophiles can grab a married man.
The truth is, why are they leaving their kids anytime, whether it's the mikveh or on the street? It's fine to go to the mikveh. You should always have parental
Your father
supervision.
should go with you.
Well,
That's
that's
the
what it
normal.
is. The father is still working at 12 o'clock on Friday. And meanwhile, the child is home from school.
So why do they
send
let
them
their
with the
kids go
child.
everywhere? I'm in
Yeah.
a grocery store. A 12-year-old is taking a 5-year-old, and they're buying groceries.
Did you see
What
that?
is
Did you
that?
see that?
I ask girls,
Oh.
how old are you? Like it's like
And then another thing, these girls are blind like a bat. When you drive in Borough Park, you'd see like this. How does a girl know to cross the street? She pushes the carriage out.
Right,
If a
and if
car
I hit
runs them over and hits them, then they say, oh, I overdid it.
Yeah.
And if the car makes a short stop, then they're the hero.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about 10-year-old girls having 2 children, 2 siblings, and they're taking care of
the
them.
problem is because the mother's overwhelmed because she has 20 kids to deal with. They
Has
need the
n-
10-year-old to
It
take
ha-
care of the
it has
5-year-old and
not-
take care of the
no,
1-year-old.
No, that's wrong.
Too
It
many.
has nothing to do with that, because I'll explain to you why. Because the mother has to make herself a certain amount, a schedule, what she would have to take care of. And if she can't meet that schedule, she should say, well, I tried the best and the rest I leave.
Yeah, doesn't work that
But
way.
doesn't work that way.
Ideally.
Okay. So now, the next thing is what we call incest. There was Shavuos now. There was a big yont of Shavuos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Before Shavuos, I spoke 2 hours about incest and not to let in anybody into the house. And
What do you mean?
well, let's put it this way. Grandfathers are incests.
What?
Yep. Again.
Oh God!
Yeah, of course.
Listen. I'm giving.
You're accusing all grandfathers of being
I did
incest?
not say all grandfathers.
He's saying it's yichud. You can't
No,
like
no,
a
no,
grandfather.
stop it.
You're not supposed to.
Stop talking stupid to me, okay? Grandfathers can't come into their grandchildren's home?
You know how many? No. You know how many rapes we had?
No, stop it.
Okay,
Stop it.
Okay. You want to hear or you don't want to hear?
All my friends are grandfathers. They babysit
Oh.
their
Not
grandchildren.
everyone who's a grandfather
all
is a
of them.
pedophile, but some pedophiles
That's-
can be
He's
your
saying- But he
grandfather.
says, too bad, don't let them in anyways.
Yeah, because you don't know
Because
who,
you
what,
don't
when,
know
and
what's
where. And
up.
once he strikes,
Are you crazy? I'm gonna be a
Don't leave them
grandfather
alone
in a
with your
couple-
kids unless you know them.
I'm gonna take care of my grandchildren like I took care of my. I didn't have sex with my kids. I'm not gonna have sex with my grandchildren.
so you're one exclusion.
What
But there's no.
Neil, do I have? Neil,
Actually,
I'm sorry.
you
Stop it. I have many friends who are grandfathers,
Right.
Doesn't mean
and not one of them. All of them.
I
Are
think,
only,
Rabbi Rosenberg, you
now
have
you're
to
going too
understand
far.
Yeah.
that the people like Uncle Heshy and other people out there
I
listening
have 80 nephews and nieces.
don't comprehend how much sexual frustration there is that is causing a lot of this molestation. The community is all screwed up when it comes to sex and anything to do with sex. And there are a lot of unsatisfied, frustrated people out there. And it's been covered up. Whatever they've been doing for years has been covered up. That's for sure.
Same thing with the churches. Look what
You
happened.
know,
Nobody
the
did
got you,
church for
churches,
them.
But Neil,
and you don't
go-
want to understand. It doesn't make a difference if the man is 30 or he's 60.
I got
If
what
he's a
I-
pedophile, he's a
I got that.
pedophile.
I got that. But
I've
don't
had-
accuse us people today.
He's not accusing anyone. He's
He
saying
is
what
not
can
accusing. I'm a
happen.
He's saying watch out.
I'm just
He's saying be
what you
cautious.
have
Don't
to
think
be.
just because it's family that it's safe.
Listen to me very, but listen.
Yeah.
Most of us know
Most
about family.
molesters, in fact, are, I believe, of relatives.
Correct.
Because they have the
That's
easiest
what I'm
access.
coming
Because
to.
they have
That's the
the
easiest access.
Right.
But compare most of the world, and compare the majority. Our job is to watch the molesters, and there's quite a few out there. But don't accuse out of the 8 million New
We're
Yorkers.
not
because
accusing, but we're
you have
saying
100
watch out.
You have
We're not
200 molesters.
We're
He just takes what you say and twists it to what he
I'm
wants.
taking it
You
personal.
don't-
He's
because
not saying, don't take it personally.
Yeah, why are you
So-
taking it
yeah, he's not
personally?
talking about you.
because me and my friends are grandfathers.
That doesn't mean it.
Right.
So
and we are modern
He's just saying, watch out. That's not asking for anything.
Talking about me. You take care of your children. You take care of your grandchildren. What do you mean that my daughter-in-law or son cannot leave my grandchild, or I take care of him because I might molest him or stuff like that?
Well, actually,
Not me.
I feel if the child doesn't want to go alone somewhere. By the way, I have great stories from, like, we think this was a problem even before the war. I know someone who, in the time of the war, she went to they asked her to babysit. So she went over to this person's house, and she was a child. They needed someone to babysit her. He was a shoemaker. They left her by her house, and next time, like, her mother wanted to leave it there, she's like, I don't want to go back, and her mother understood why. And even back before the war, that they had pedophiles.
Right, we're not saying it started now.
It's happening since people were born.
I'm saying in the Jewish community, it's not like, it's always been around. It comes from somewhere. It breeds.
Listen, people ask me, what does it come from? Why would a boy run after a boy? I tell them everything. All this, you ask Sigmund Freud. He's a philosopher. I'm telling you.
What do you mean? If you get molested, 1 in 5 will also.
That is exactly what's happening. But here again, why did the first one do it? That's what I'm saying. I said you wrote to Sigmund Freud.
But you don't get it. All you need is one person, and all of a sudden everyone's influenced. One sick person has to think of this.
He's saying boy for a boy. Why didn't you finish it up? You asked me even in the car. Girl for a girl is no good. And you said, why should a boy?
By the way, you say you don't know people. I know women who are molested by other women. I know women who are molested by their brother. This was very important to me as a child.
What about, you said in the car that no Jewish young woman or man should, if they did not get married, should not have sex when they're younger.
Wait, what does that have to do with that?
Okay, boy, girl with a girl. What about a boy with a girl? Not a man with a girl.
Okay, wait. First of all, let's not get, again, you want to talk that subject, we'll get to that.
All children endangerment I want to talk about.
Okay, but not now. You only have 2 hours. I can talk to you for 16 years.
We got a couple more minutes, but go ahead.
Okay, now.
By the way, we are talking. 1 minute. We are talking on the Just Enough Heshy show, and 718-303-99.
Rabbi Rosenberg from Williamsburg.
Rabbi Rosenberg,
and he's got a hotline.
What's your hotline number? If you want to give it to
951-262-3714.
And I'll give you more information.
That gives you on Yiddish, but I also have sometimes before Yontiv, I have it in English as well.
What's that area code again? It's a different
951.
And why isn't it also in English? I mean,
because I don't have enough time. You know how much time all this takes.
And you're saying the people don't speak English? Like
no. I cater for the
only Yiddish speaking.
No, I have English also, but before the Yontiv, before holidays, the Jewish holidays, to tell the parents to watch out for the children. Like now, Shavuos, everybody was roaming the streets, right? Who was watching those children?
Nobody.
The father says
they watch their wallets more than their children.
Right. The father says that he's going to shul to say Tikkun L'Layl Shavuos. You know what that is? What we say at night. He falls asleep because he's too tired to say it. And meanwhile, he took along 6 small children, and they're roaming all over. And because of my hotline, the awareness for so many years, I begged the rabbis to lock the mikvahs. You know, it used to be all night Shavuos in the mikvah. Yeah. I wouldn't want to explain it.
But in the modern communities, even Borough Park, but Neil, in the modern communities, we have, and especially in Long Island and Jersey, they have, when you take the kids at nighttime, they have this like daycare center or place where all the kids play.
That's right.
And they watch.
Not only that, they watch. That's the thing, because of my hotline, that I made this in the Orthodox community as well. It goes so far.
The Hasidic community.
The Hasidic.
Still, you brought awareness when nobody knew this. You were one of the first.
Right.
I learned about it. You hear one guy on TV, then there was otherwise no one knew about this. So, I kept wondering, where is anyone saying it? And then you came out right when I was growing up, and I learned about this, and I was like, someone's saying something.
So you want to hear something? Girls that were molested?
Let me give you.
Why do you think these people who are out there not being in the school system, right? Regular women who are grown up Beis Yaakov, they're grown up regular, and all of a sudden, bam, they start talking to boys and doing weird things. It isn't just, hey, I woke up one day and decided I'm going to do everything different. That's not what I meant. They get into a crowd that's very bad, and they go like.
Let me tell you, on my hotline, in Lakewood.
I don't know.
In Lakewood, there was a war a few weeks Shabbos. There's about 40, 50 boys who were smoking on Shabbos and not observing the Shabbos. So they took Malkiel Kotler, the big guy.
I saw this. Yeah, go ahead.
They took Malkiel Kotler, the big guy, with the small guy, a rabbi there, a local rabbi. And they went over to the
Medallion.
Oh, you see, he knows Betzalel Klein.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give names because I try to keep it as cool as possible. But anyway, So they went over to these boys and they said, you know, you're a shagets and you'll go burn in Gehenna. So one strong boy, in hell. Yeah, they'll burn in hell. One strong boy went over and he says, Rabbi, do you know me? No, but I know you. You know that you threw me out from school. Now, why would you want me to be a Sabbath observer? Why would you want me to keep the Torah? And I put that on 951-262-3714. If you go on box number 8 and number 9, you will hear what these boys are crying back.
Say it again. What's the number?
Well, that's my hotline, but you have to go
951-262-3714. Push number 8.
8 and number 9.
Wow.
8 is an answer back, you threw me out from school. And number 9 is also an answer back, why not only did you ruin me, you ruined our parents' lives, you ruined everybody around us. You will go on there, you will cry.
And these guys thought, these rabbis, I promise you, they thought they were going to be like angels from the sky, and they're going to whisk these people up, and they're going to all of a sudden say, oh, we made a mistake, and we're now going to be good, and this and that. So they have no idea how to interact with a teenage kid.
Gets thrown out of school, he turns bad. I was thrown out of school. You were thrown out of school.
I was thrown out of many schools.
And we went to another school.
Many schools.
Oh, but here they have a mafia that one school calls up the other one. Tell me information about this boy. They say, where is he?
So you send him to another town. You send him to another
everybody.
Overseas.
Not everybody can afford to do that.
Not everybody can afford it, and not everybody trusts the children on their own because they're shaky anyway. But let me first come back.
Most people who get molested again. They'd send their kids off to some random place.
Right. Now listen to this.
Because the molester is very clever in understanding children.
So how come, Rabbi Rosenberg, you don't have a school set up to take these kids in?
I want to explain to you because I want to tell you. Dov Hiken stole $1.5 million.
I told you, Neil.
From the money that was supposed to go for the children.
Oh my God!
And Sheldon Silver stole $4 million.
Dov Hiken never stole a penny.
I know. He gave it to somebody called Abraham Beck. And I always asked him, what did he do with the money? He says, I don't know.
I scream about Dov Hiken all the time about policies and stuff, but I never did I ever hear him.
How about, do you know anything about the yeshiva, the tax credits they want to do?
Is that actually happening?
I don't want to get this.
No. I'm just asking you for 1 minute. I'll let you get that.
I don't know exactly.
Okay, no problem.
What do you think of this whole thing that happened with the Beis Yaakov thing that's in the paper? Do you know anything about that?
Which Beis Yaakov? There's so many problems.
Stop.
You're talking about the one that made it to the New York Daily News, where the girl got right here
in Australia.
Right here, the girl got thrown out of Beis Yaakov, and her parents are suing because she claims it didn't happen. This whole sexting thing.
That's right. So this is something that I don't know. We have to wait and see what the outcome will be. But you wonder.
You don't accuse anybody beforehand, like
no, never.
The Weberman case
beforehand, no. There's a guy called Rabbi Horowitz in Monsey, and Mr. Charles Hines was the DA. Rabbi Horowitz told us that he has 8 other cases, and Mr. Hines said he has 7 other cases. It's called the Brady Law, where they can't appear in court, but the judge knows about it. So I try to put those 2 together to see if they're the same, and it winds up to be that not even one of them that Mr. Hines had on his list is one of them that Rabbi Horowitz had on his list. That means we're talking about 15 girls that we know that were molested.
By this guy.
By Mr. Weberman, Rabbi Weberman.
I can tell you a story that happened to me.
Neil, 1 minute, Neil. Weberman, they said 15 girls now he was molested.
No, but this is Brady Law. This is only in the court.
But I know he's appealing, and everybody says he's going to win his appeal. Weberman.
Fine, he's going to win his appeal.
So then you were wrong.
They still won't trust him.
Wait a minute. Leibovitz won his appeal because he has a lot of money, and his lawyer did all different crooked things. He says, I have information which he never had. But at the end of the day, he paid off one victim $1.5 million and another victim $600,000. They should say we don't remember.
There's a recorded thing about this?
Oh, it was in the newspaper. It was in the Jewish Week. It was written about it. So at the end of the day, everybody in town knows that he molested more than thousands of boys. So what does that mean? The jail system means something. So
thousands of boys, Lebowitz.
Thousands, for sure.
How is that even possible? How could it be that much?
Now, I want to ask you a question. Before you go ahead, bbore you ask him how it's possible, I don't want to say anything again, but I happen to know this guy, Rabbi Lebowitz, personally.
Yes.
And I know him for I don't know.
Yeah. So what do you know
37.
about it? Yeah.
I know one thing. This is what I know personally. I never witnessed. I never saw.
Okay. And you think you would?
Stop.
You
Stop.
think
I
you
hope
would?
not.
Stop,
I
stop.
hope not.
Stop. One case was brought against him. One, not 50, not 1,000.
You know how many
nobody-
people were threatened?
No, wait. Not how many. And he won the case. He won the case, Neil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which case did he win?
The one where
Technicality.
they with the bribery,
Was
they
it
tried to bribe a lie out of a kid.
It was a technical. The government
You
made a
bribed the kid.
technical.
You
No,
told the
wait.
kid not to speak. The kid lied.
Wait. How do you know that was Mr. Kellner? He's the guy who.
How do you know the kid didn't lie?
Oh, wait.
Because the kid lied.
Wait. Mr. Kellner walked off from court, finding that he was not guilty. It was a hoax. So if you want to listen, if you want to
Well,
talk
You
about
believe the man came back not guilty, and it says it's a hoax. The guy was not
Do
guilty.
you remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about how scary it is that a woman could just call the cops and say my husband hit
Right,
me,
the
and they
kid-
just
that's what
drag
the
him off
kid-
no
that's what the
question.
kid did to me.
Exactly.
That's
So
what that
it's
kid-
scary because they know. Oh, the second they hear the news, Rabbi touched the boy.
But
That's
you
it.
know what? I want to just tell you
he's
something to
decided
Rabbi
already.
Rosenberg that he doesn't know. There's a new rule in the schools today. And the rule is simple. 2 kids in a room with a rabbi, nevertheless, or 2 rabbis with 1 kid.
No rule in that I know
It's
of
an
any
unofficial
school.
rule.
Let me hear
It's
which school.
all of them now.
You're full
Maybe
of
they're
it.
religious,
You're
they're
You're
ultra-religious.
full of
Excuse
it.
me.
You don't know what you're talking
You don't know
about.
what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
You have kids in
I
school.
want you to
You
believe.
watch it.
Yes, I have
Let
kids
him
in
walk
school.
into the principal's office alone, and you'll see the
Yeah, but
principal
you'll
will
see the
be there.
secretary is always there.
N-
Always.
Just alone, the secretary.
Yeah,
and the
wait.
principal?
The
So how many
door's open.
schools? How many
At least
schools?
that's not
How
illegal.
many schools did you check out before you give statements?
Extramarital affairs
I
aren't
want to tell
illegal.
you
Let's go.
something.
Let's start across the board. Chaim Berlin, Toividas,
Are you?
BS.
Miri Yeshiva.
BS.
You went in there and you saw, and that's why for Chaim Berlin somebody was molested, and from all these yeshivas,
All of them.
from the Cadillac of
Come on,
yeshivas,
Coco went-
Coco,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cadillac of yeshivas. What are you talking
Torah
about?
Semes. I never heard one in Torah Semes.
Wait, can I say a story that happened to me
Miri
actually?
Yeshiva.
Let's listen to
So I was on the plane to Israel. I was 14 years old, and
Oh.
what?
Go ahead.
And I'm sitting there, and we split up. It was me, it was my little sister, like 2 years old, me, and some guy. You'd say rabbi because he had a white beard and everything. We're going to Israel. He was talking to me. He was very friendly. Showed me pictures of his nieces, nephews, grandkids. I don't know what it was.
Beautiful.
Nice.
He worked you nice.
Oh,
I
stop.
know.
Neil, you're vicious.
No,
Stop
because
it.
I know
Okay.
already. I
You
can
don't
tell
know.
So
Yeah,
whatever.
I
So
don't-
I'm sitting there, right? So he's talking to me, whatever. He falls asleep. So I'm sitting there with my whatever, and he starts putting his hand like on my leg, and I'm like,
Oh, that means he pretended he fell asleep. That's what you mean.
right.
Right.
So I didn't cop that then. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe he's thinking of his wife or something. You rationalize, you know? I don't know. I'm like, okay, and I'm pushing my hand away. I'm like, maybe if I push away, and he pushed it back, and I kept like trying
So
to
why don't
not
you
let
just
it.
get up
Old
and
New
walk
York
away?
subway trick.
Okay, so this is what
Why
I
did you get up and walk
Well,
away?
why don't you pull him by the beard to wake him up?
because okay, by the way, I already knew about
It's
such
elbow.
things. I knew about molestation, but I still couldn't.
She
The
was
concept,
young,
the
but it's
concept,
not her.
when
It's
it
not
happens
on
to
her.
you, the concept.
My boy is
You're not
14
so
years
sure.
old, and he knows better, and he tells me better, and he's a big
Can you
kid.
let me finish the story?
14 is not a little kid. My
More to
boy
the
is...
story?
Yes. Okay. Either way,
Yeah.
so
Thank you, Z.
so I got up and I switched seats with my sister, and not.
Oh, that's bad news.
All right.
Bad
Look
news.
No,
at
no,
you,
no,
son of a
Should
No.
never done that.
No, the reason is she's
Wow.
5 years old. If he would touch her, she'd
Oh,
start
they're
screaming.
not
That's
afraid of
worse.
That's not what I meant.
5-year-olds.
What I meant is that she wouldn't just. She was young. She wasn't this. She was a baby. If you would touch her, she'd be like, "No, stop."
She
People would hear.
think, she would think
I didn't
he's
just
making
put her in that
nice.
zone. You guys are so
Oh
mean.
man,
You guys are bad.
you give up
Give
your
me-
sister.
give me-
Oh, she owes you one, baby.
Okay, just give me a second. Anyways, so my mother leans over the seat and she's like, "SD, you know,
What
Hessy's gonna-
happened?
she's gonna bother the old man, you know, like switch back." I didn't know how to tell her, "Hey, ma, the guy next to me is actually creepy." Like, what am I supposed to say? So I just switched back, and then he stopped. So that worked out a little.
Okay, so
And
let me.
afterwards, I told
so
her.
let- so
In the
let me-
moment, you don't know what to do. You're like, "Wait,
Right.
what?" Your brain
Because of
comprehending.
the awareness, people are not afraid to talk now.
No, I wasn't afraid. I knew about these things before.
Right,
It just
but now
it didn't
even more
process
so.
right.
Okay, guys, I got it.
Yeah.
We've been going for a
Yeah.
few minutes, and you got to take a break. ST, you got to tell me one more set of people who paid for the show and what show we're listening to, and they're going to call in on the top of the hour. Give them our number anyway.
Where that 303 number?
That 303 number, yeah.
What is it? 9090?
Well,
Yeah.
she got to give the area code
All
as
right.
well.
Okay, I won't tell anyone the area code.
Let her shine. This is
303-9090.
This is my thing. Ouch. Okay, you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. We have a special guest, Nachum Rosenberg, with us.
Rabbi Nachum Rosenberg.
I did say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So yeah, we're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. We're on Facebook. Just go to Just Enough Heshy and like our page.
No, I'm eating a
You
salad.
can go to Twitter, hashtag Just Enough Heshy. We're live on YouTube if you want to see us. If you'd like to advertise with us or send us an email, you can email us at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. Heshy spelled Heshy. We have Mr. Cleans, dry cleaners. He delivers, and he's the best in Brooklyn, and he has the best prices. And if you mention the Just Enough Heshy Show, he will give you 25% off. So you can email Mr. Clean at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com or 347-369-3051.
Right?
Yeah. If you're looking for a personal
25%
trainer,
off.
Oh yeah, say Uncle Heshy Show 25% off. You forgot that.
I did not forget to say that.
First
I
time
didn't
you.
say you forgot.
Okay,
I was
you
just
did-
like amazed.
Yeah,
I'm
but
always amazed.
No, I figured it out. I spoke to him. He gives you 25% off the first time, so you should try him. Hey,
Right.
don't take a break. And then the next time I have to charge you the regular price if you like me. So my stuff is better than the other one, and he's a little cheaper as well.
He's trying to prove that he's better. That's all.
Right. So give me a shot. I'm gonna give you 25% off.
So yes.
Right now, it doesn't sound that good.
I don't know.
Okay.
You're good. Go ahead, Neil.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, if you're looking for a personal trainer, Yossi Lefkowitz, he does house calls. He's located on 16th and 48th. You can reach him at 347-816-5207. We have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance, violations, permits and plans, preventative maintenance, lift stop work orders, and free consultation. They get you to the finish line. They do what needs to get done. They keep you satisfied. No?
You are great,
Right.
Esty. Did you show everybody the picture you're drawing tonight? Tonight's
not
picture
yet.
is going for tonight's picture since it's
Shouldn't I give out the number of where they can get these?
Yes.
So their number at Green Line is 718-871-0382. You're listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. You can call in at 718-303-9090. Okay, Heshy.
Okay, Rabbi Rosenberg, we are. Go ahead.
One
Z,
thing,
go
because
ahead.
it's relevant to me. I'm sure you heard about the whole case in Florida going on now, right? In Miami.
Sure.
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, it's in like the national news.
You're right.
already.
What? Tell.
Just
Say
I know.
it. Say this.
No, it's the same thing. There's a rabbi.
He's a rabbi there 10 years.
in
Right
Miami.
now,
It's
right now.
happening right now. The whole controversy. It's a rabbi in Miami Beach, actually, which is my hometown. So I heard a lot about it, and it wasn't anybody that I knew
11-year-old
personally.
11-year-old girl.
But
come on.
and again, people already have pre-decided that they know he's guilty. I don't know the first thing about it. I'm just saying that this is
What
right
is
now.
your opinion right now?
I don't have an opinion. Again, there's two sides. I have no clue.
You
No,
know,
he had two
there's
sides.
there's
He
no
found
opinion.
one
I
of
don't
the
know.
Do you know the rabbi?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, but I've
He
heard.
found the girl's ass.
I've
That's the
heard.
side he found.
I've heard that
You
there are
guys
people.
can't keep doing that. You can't keep accusing people.
I've
for no
heard
reason.
that
Oh,
there
we're
are
accusing
people
people.
that
She's accusing.
that can vouch for him. That
That he's a great guy.
he's a good guy. I
His
don't know.
wife said that he doesn't even know how to molest a child. You hear? She
But
says she sleeps with him and she knows he doesn't even know. Never
Okay.
on her. Somebody better buy her a good toy.
oh, come
Oh
on.
my God.
What do you think she was? Now, before we get into the end.
No, I'm just curious. No, I wanted to know what his thoughts were.
Okay.
'Cause you don't even know about it, which
Well,
I'm shocked.
again, I don't take any opinion
Right, I'm saying,
until
what
it
do you know?
develops, because most of the time,
But from your experience, you probably
Rabbi
know the patterns.
Freundel and all these people, at the end of the day, they all come out that they're guilty. You know, they admit everything. You know, Rabbi
Yeah.
Freundel, he put video cameras in the woman's mikveh.
Right.
So most of them, they come out with it. And you know what a harm he did? You know how many hundreds of women called me up that they will never use a mikveh because of that?
And I don't
Really,
blame
like,
them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Would you believe?
So why don't we tell no women to go to the mikveh anymore?
No. We have
don't
to
go.
tell
You
the
have enough
rabbis.
women
We
who are
have
not
to
going
tell
without
the
you telling them.
rabbis.
How
to
did they
straighten-
find out about the cameras? That's very, like, how?
I would tell you a story. I don't know if you'll believe me, but I will tell it to you. There's a woman that lives in Boston,
Uh-huh.
and her hometown is in Washington.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking on my hotline before the holidays, before Rosh Hashanah. I was talking about the fact that there are numerous complaints about cameras in mikvahs. So one woman was listening to this, and she said that, how do I know what's happening in Washington, in my hometown? And she goes down to Washington for the holidays, and she asks the mikvah lady, what's happening? So believe it or not, this is how it came. She says, you know, the rabbi keeps on coming and going into the women's mikvah. Now, what does he have to do there? So what they did is, and I told them my hotline, there's companies who neutralize buildings. In other words, if you ever suspect somebody put something on your table and they're listening to what you're saying or even taking pictures, there's a company that neutralizes. They come in and they check it out.
Mhm.
And in 10 minutes, they know everything.
Right.
So they call the company that neutralizes the building, and they
like this.
one.
There's a
It's
whole
called
company.
spy shops.
What, but wait,
So
I thought they
it's-
knew. I thought they knew there's cameras in the mikveh. They didn't know.
No,
So how did they find
How
out?
many cameras did they find?
I that exactly I don't know, but I heard
Wait, so how did they find out?
Hours.
Every
What?
shower.
Every shower.
every shower, something like
I
that.
didn't get. They neutralized it, and they were able to tell that what?
No, they come in with a certain machine, and
Yeah.
the machine starts to ring if there's a spy.
Why
a
would they
secret-
think that there is one? Like, who would think? Hey, let me
Because
go to my
this
local.
woman,
She
I
just
said,
randomly got paranoid, and she's
I
like,
know,
"No,
I
check it
said on
out."
my hotline, every mikveh should be checked out. Because today I don't trust these rabbis anything.
Really?
And because of that, she went down and she said,
Every
wait,
mikveh should be checked out, not because of this. For whatever reason, it should be checked out. Anybody's
I
buying
can't believe
a
that they
professional.
don't.
I
So
know.
and then what?
It
So
should
what
be a
happened? They found the guy
There
that
should
he
be
was
a
watching.
professional.
They- they-
There should be a professional certification
But
for
there's
mikveh.
always
that's
a
what I
guy.
said. That's
There's
exactly
always a
what I
guy who
said.
takes care of the mikveh.
That's
by the way.
it. That's
he's
it.
always in and out of
That's
the
it. And he's
mikveh.
in and out.
And nobody knows
And,
what
and
he's
you
doing.
keep on. You
Who
keep
should
on.
be in charge of
You
this?
keep on.
Because you said all the
Women,
rabbis are corrupt.
women.
Oh,
Women.
Uh-huh.
You keep on saying on your holy Borough Park, you grew up there. You know, in the biggest women's mikveh in Borough Park, one of the people who took care, like he says, there's a guy taking care. They found him sleeping in the mikveh at night, and there was a big hole, and he watched every woman go down to Tvila. And they fired him, and they told him nicely, if you don't get out, we're going to arrest you.
Oh.
And this goes back 10, 15 years ago.
Wow, I
That's
can't
your
believe
holy
these
city
stories.
of Borough
I
Park.
can't believe that.
Well,
I
that-
don't remember
now
that.
that
didn't
I
hear that,
convinced
Neil.
you-
Neil, you heard that?
Now that I can
I didn't hear that.
I'm giving
Neil.
it to you firsthand. Now that I convinced you,
I
so
lived there for 20
grandfathers can also be pedophiles.
Okay.
Trust me. But wait, I'm not finished.
Stop.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question because we're running out of time.
Yeah,
I want to
okay.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
I got your subjects. I want to ask you a very important question that
Yeah.
Neil had arguing. Child pornography. I believe this leads to the molestation. Is it legally to download, or if
You're asking me a
shouldn't
legal
exist.
question which I don't even
should
know
somebody
about.
should somebody be
Wait,
allowed
wait,
your
wait,
opinion?
wait.
Your opinion.
You're asking me something that I don't know about. I don't know exactly what child pornography is.
It's exactly
I never
what it
got
sounds like.
involved. I never got involved in that subject. And here again, I don't want to be distracted. I'm not worried about child pornography at this
Because this
point.
leads to molestation.
I am.
But maybe it should be legalized. It can stop the molestation.
Well,
Yeah,
wait
that
a
will
minute.
never
Why,
happen, ever.
you see, I don't like the way you give out statements. This leads to molestation.
Maybe stabbing people should be
Long
legal,
before-
but otherwise it
finding-
leads to
Hello.
murder.
Long
You're not
before-
finding the cure for the
Long-
molesters. Why don't we
Sure,
fix
we're
that?
There are
finding
no
the cures. Sure, we're finding
Chop
the
them,
cure.
bake
Put them
them
in
all.
jail.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Put them in
That's it.
jail.
They're sick.
They're sick.
Dog.
They're done.
They're
Is
sick.
there a cure for cancer? No. There's a village in Florida which only molesters can live there, and you can't live there with children. I forgot the name, but if you go on the
But
Google,
you're
you'll
free.
find
But
it.
you're free. You're not in jail.
But you're not in jail. Oh, well, no, that's before you mess up. That's when you go for help. You say
Yeah.
to the doctor, listen, I have an urge to molest. And
There's
What?
it's something in their
I have
brain.
an
They
urge,
can't
I get
control
locked
it.
up. If I have an urge, I never did anything wrong.
No,
I
you're
can't
not
get
You're
locked
not
up.
putting in trouble.
Listening.
Not
you're
locked
not
up.
listening.
Go
Please.
live in that
He,
place.
he goes to a
allergic to
professional and he
peanuts.
needs help.
If you're allergic to
And
peanuts, you
then
go
they
in the
tell him
peanut
you
free
go
zone.
and live in a certain place
Yeah, away
where
from
there's
kids.
no children.
Exactly. I know what you're talking
Don't
about. It's
blow
in
up.
Florida.
Listen,
It's in Florida. Yeah, I've seen it.
it's advertised all over.
I know what he's talking about. It makes perfect sense.
How many
Again,
people live there?
these people are
How many
sick. They
people
can't
you'd be
control it.
surprised? About 50,000.
They cannot
It's a
control
big
it.
city.
It's an
It's a
urge.
medium-sized
That's
city.
it. It's not like most people that murder.
50,000
They're not just walking around shooting people because they want to do it. Usually they got in a fight. They're upset. This or that. This is something.
People that have admitted they have.
That's
an
it.
issue.
Now you say
Yeah.
that admit that
They
they
have
have.
an issue, but they never did it.
They
never
didn't
did
say
the
that.
crime.
They don't want to do it.
They don't
They're
want to
feeling
do
the
it, but they
urge.
feel they have an issue
Yeah,
and they want to
before-
be cured from it.
It doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just sick, and that's it. There's no
I
cure
know a lot
for
of
it.
people.
Rabbi Rosenberg, I want to ask you a question, and don't get offended. You're
I mean, say, well-
you're an older man, in your 60s,
65.
I'm in my 50s.
Right.
You're a human being, right?
Right.
Never had urges in your whole life. I'm not talking bad urge. Any urge.
I want to tell you something. Everybody has urges in their life, but we control our life.
Right.
We have a certain commitment to God, to the Torah, and to a family. And that keeps you running. Everybody has urges, but as long as it's in control, people have cancer. As long as it's not,
So let's fix
don't
these
make it-
guys.
you can.
You know what it is.
Well, let me tell you something.
You can never fix them.
Well,
know what it is?
let's put it
Hold
this
on.
way. Once you don't do it, you can work with yourself. But once you did it for 5 years and all of a sudden now the law is
Don't
after
you
them.
have a friend that
it's
was
just-
locked up more than once for doing this?
Oh,
I ask you a question. Do you remember?
I'm
I
ashamed,
remember
I'm ashamed to
something.
say, yeah.
Right.
So
It's not their
Because they don't
fault.
stop.
But who said it was even true?
And
It's
he
not their
knew he-
fault. It
Oh,
comes
yeah.
from it
Right.
happening to them, and they understand sex in that way. So they can't. Why is it so difficult to get out of their brain? It's because they were raised that this is what sex is. So they learn to like it in that way. So that it's like trying to destroy your entire way of
But the
thinking
way
when you're
Rabbi
brought up.
Rosenberg-
Their wiring
Rabbi
is just
Bubba-
different.
why
Their
is it-
wiring is different because
Hold
they
on,
were
but
molested.
Esther,
Nobody
why is-
decides to be a molester. It's not
but-
their fault.
No,
hello,
but
hello,
it
guys.
might not be.
I don't want to interrupt you, but Rabbi
You're not born in
Rosenberg is
Boston.
telling us. Hello, Esty.
What are you talking
Esty,
about?
what?
Why not?
Esty. I don't know. She's screaming what? Esty, Rabbi Rosenberg is still not telling me why, when you tell us all these things, maybe we should teach them about boys and girls. Maybe we should teach them about boys and girls sex.
again, I don't want to get distracted, but I want to
You're
explain
telling
to
me
you.
about a problem with no
No,
solution.
no. The solution is not because boys and girls, and I'll prove it to you. Do you know how many pedophiles we have that are 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 years of age and they have a
Yeah.
wife and lovely children?
Why are they pedophiles?
Well, that
'Cause they're
is
messed up.
Sigmund Freud. That's what I told
No.
you. You want I should become a philosopher? I will not
Wait,
do
wait,
it.
I can't tell you where it comes from, but I can tell you why. What now that it's out here, it comes from every 5 children that get molested, one will become a molester.
And it's much
the other
more
ones
than
will
that.
have severe
One out of
issues.
5. Right.
Right.
1 out of 5 children.
So let's put
in
all-
our
all-
community.
It comes from being
let's-
introduced to sex in a
Let's
child.
put all children who are molested in jail. Right?
What?
Let's put all children who are molested in jail, according to Rabbi
Again,
Rosenberg.
no. You see, you
Of
keep on
course
saying
not.
according to me, which I've never said.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good
And
at that.
I will not continue under these circumstances.
I'm sorry, I
I
apologize.
did not say it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I explained to you again. When we find somebody in an early stage, we can help him. And even somebody who has been doing it for a year or two or whatever, if they go for help and they really want to be helped, there is still help out there. But you're talking about molesters for years and years and years. And until now, nobody took care of it. So
It's like, imagine from now on, they tell you you can only, Heshy, you can only be with boys, you can't be with women. You're so used to being with women, you're not going to be like, oh, like, it's how
Oh,
your
God,
brain was made.
He's telling me I can't be alone with my grandchildren.
Okay,
I
what?
want to tell you something.
just
I
says
did not
things. Don't
say
listen-
it.
don't
And if
listen
you're
to
going
him.
to keep on saying it, I will just not
No,
continue. I
Rabbi
did
Rosenberg,
not.
I didn't say
I
it. I'm
said-
saying
Under the list of incest is grandfathers, fathers, whether you like it or not. It's
Yeah.
becoming worse. You know how many children we have that the fathers had sex with them?
It's hard. Like, the
Fathers.
wives would maybe
How
sometimes
many?
even know
How
about
many?
it and say
How
nothing.
many?
There's so many books
I
on
would have
this.
to put it together. Okay.
About 5, 10, 20,
What
30.
percent?
Yeah,
I would have to-
fathers, not percent.
I would have to put it together.
People.
I would have to put
Stories
it together.
maybe, you know?
No, but is it
How
too
many
I know-
incidences have you heard around them?
Oh,
A
very
lot, right?
many. You wouldn't believe. I listen to all these things all day. You wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Now,
No, I believe.
Yeah, the
Uncles,
insider track. He knows
okay,
what he's talking
uncles,
hold on.
brother-in-laws, cousins, landlords, neighbors. These are the people who are doing this.
Okay, we are coming to a station identification, everybody. So we're
Yeah,
going to
another
take a
minute.
break so you guys can run away. But here's my halfway quote, everybody. And I want you to all listen into the show. In the second half, we take phone calls. I think he's going to let 2 calls, 718-303-9090. And I'm going to give you my quote, Neil. And good, you're eating this way you can't make a comment. A man, and this is to all of us in this room and everywhere out there, a man must be big enough to admit his mistakes,
about.
smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. So, guys, I believe, and I'm
Oh,
going to tell
don't
you,
start that
I
you
will-
believe
I I'm not
molesters
saying-
deserve a chance.
I don't
or
believe they
whatever.
deserve. Neil, everybody makes mistakes. We have to help our
This
fellow.
is too big of a mistake. It's like somebody killing your mother. You know, it's just too big of a mistake. I mean, for you, you'd pay the guy. I understand, but for normal people, it's too big of a mistake.
Okay, well,
That's
I'm
all.
not. That wasn't what I was talking about.
I
Mistakes
know.
of regular people that we make
This
mistakes.
No, but you're
Like,
talking about a
it's-
mistake
it's
that's
not a mistake.
equivalent to murder.
I'm not talking about the 50,000 molesters. I'm talking about the 8 million other people that
Rabbi.
listen to our show. Right? Hello, Broadway guy. Anyways, everybody, thank you for staying tuned. We'll
Thank
be
you
right
for
back
staying
in about
tuned.
another minute.
Stay with
Neil
us.
and Esty is going to run out.
Stay with
We'll be right back. Stay tuned to the Just Enough Heshy show and call in and we'll take calls and whatever. Thank you.
No.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Just Enough Heshy show. We will be taking calls on our lines at 718-303-9090. We do have some other topics. This is a very serious issue, and if you want to, we're going to give Rabbi Rosenberg a couple more minutes to discuss it. And I would still, before he leaves, I know that you don't like to be interrupted, you don't have a lot of time, but I still going to ask you a favor. I'm going to let you go, but I want to ask you a couple questions at the end. Give me like a few minutes for me and Neil to question you, because you are more knowledgeable than this by us. And we want to ask you questions that may, like you're saying, I didn't know the grandfather thing. I didn't know the father thing. I disagree with you 1 billion
Disagree is not an agreement. He's saying
Stop.
it happens or it doesn't happen.
I know it happens.
Stats and
I'm not
facts that
denying
he's talking
it,
about.
but
There's
I'm
nothing
not
to
telling
argue
you
about.
the way my opinion is. You cannot stop the way he says. Don't let grandfathers. I'm not saying you.
No, he's saying be careful. If your child doesn't like her grandfather,
So
maybe
know
you should
your
ask
family.
why.
Esty, you're a grown woman. You go to therapy. You know things. If you're dumbbell and you let somebody put their hand on you,
Dumbbell? I'm sorry. In the situation, you can't help it. You don't know what to
I got
do.
you. I got you.
Until you understand and
and
process
you
what's
have to.
happening.
Esty, you don't have children. I taught my children every day.
But she's
from 3 and 4.
14 at that point. She was old enough to know
And
what's
so
going on.
let's
You think
blame-
a 5-year-old knows what's happening? They have no clue.
Let's blame her parents for not teaching her.
They think Uncle Billy is coming.
Hold
to play.
on.
It's having the
I
best
knew
of time.
everything about this at 14, but I didn't even realize it was happening to me then. I knew what molestation was. It wasn't, this is
but
what's
Esty,
happening to me now.
Esty,
You
right
mean you
now-
didn't believe a rabbi can do this? That's what you
Right. I
mean.
was like,
Esty,
okay,
okay.
I didn't think it was a
Esty,
rabbi. That's probably what it
I'm going to
was.
let you and the rabbi
If
talk.
only a rabbi could never do child molestation.
Okay, well, hold on.
I never thought such a thing could be possible.
Esty,
That's the irony. It's most of it. Like,
Okay, Esty, we're going to do the horoscope after you. Esty has something very...
No. So, Rabbi Rosenberg, he gave me 10 signs of child abuse, which I love. I remember my list about spousal
go ahead.
abuse.
It's you got it. It's all yours.
So yeah,
10 what? 10 signs?
that your child it might be molested. Yes. Might
So
be.
this is a way we can figure out if this happened to us. Look,
Not if it
again,
happened to
I-
us.
If it happens to your children.
Right, so this is what I want to hear. Go
Okay,
ahead,
fine.
Esty.
So one is unexplained injuries. If you see visible signs of physical abuse, they like burns, bruises. You may also hear unconvincing explanations of a child's injuries. Like it'll be like he'll say he got hurt, but you won't know he'll make up stories. It won't make sense. Changes in behavior. They can become more scared, anxious, depressed, withdrawn, or aggressive. Like any violent change in your child, any change in any direction. They were very happy, they became very sad, something like that. Returning to earlier behaviors. Abused children may display behavior shown at earlier ages, such as thumb sucking, bedwetting, fear of the dark, or fear of strangers. For some children, even loss of acquired language or memory problems may be an issue. Trauma, you have bad memory. I don't have a good memory. Fear
not
of,
what it means.
no, I know. Fear of going home. Abused children may just not want to go back home, and they'll take their time before leaving. You'll see them hesitate before they
Because they
leave.
know what's coming when they get home.
Oh, it's horrible. Changes in eating. The stress and fear and anxiety can, they can gain weight. They can lose weight. Changes in sleeping. If they can't fall asleep or they have a lot of nightmares, and they'll come off tired. Changes in school performance. If all of a sudden their grades drop. Basically any major change, but okay. Lack of personal hygiene, where they don't care what they wear and they're dirty and they just aren't put together. Inappropriate sexual behaviors. Children who have been sexually abused may exhibit overly sexualized behavior or use explicit sexual language. Interesting.
But Esty,
No.
I have this does not happen after one time, does it?
No.
Could be yes, it could be no.
But my question is, when now again, all these parents, all these people that you know, I mean, it looks like the whole community is nuts, because I know, and every parent that I know, a lot of them explain to their children, they check their children when they come home.
It's still, even if you explain it to a child in
I talk to my
detail,
child
the
every
child
day,
has to be
every other
confident
day.
enough to go to an adult and say,
Oh, stop.
hey,
He's good,
stop
and
what you're doing.
he's
You're a
good.
child.
Can I
He's an
give
adult.
you-
Esty,
You don't know.
Esty, the kid is good in the morning and he comes home at night and all of a sudden he changes his molested. I'm sure going to ask my kid what's wrong,
Right.
and he's going to tell me.
No, by
Okay,
the way, the
oh,
biggest problem with molestation also is parents who aren't around for their kids, and that
Okay.
they know how to sense kids
Okay.
that don't have good
But
home
even-
backgrounds.
But even that, can I just tell you a story?
Talking to the mic.
Can I just tell you a short story that'll make you understand?
Yes.
This Friday, a woman calls me up. She says, I'm a true listener, maybe 7-8 years to your hotline, to my hotline.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, on my hotline, I keep on saying that the knowledge that the children have to get is very essential. So I tell them, you talk to your child, about your hidden places, the girls on her hidden places, the boys on his hidden places. And I even tell them, show them with your hand closely to it.
On the doll, yeah.
Because tell them.
On a doll.
No,
I'm never
no.
doing this with my kids. I would
No,
be
no,
so.
On a doll only.
But you have to understand, the rabbis used to teach us you're not allowed to touch over there, and we couldn't figure out where over there was. So you have to really tell them you don't touch and physically.
Can I hire you for that? Because I can't do that with
No,
my
no,
kids.
but wait. Well, if you can't do it, if you can't do it, then you go. I keep on saying, a lot of women can't do it. I said, you know what you should do? Go to a psychologist.
Rabbi Rosenberg.
But wait, let me finish.
Okay,
I want to finish the statement.
Okay, let him finish.
So the statement goes
So
as
we'll
follows.
move
She
on.
says, I'm a true listener, and I want you to know that for years I've been teaching my children and showing them, and they know everything, the boys and the girls. So she tells me a story that last year she went to visit her son in camp. Would you believe the maintenance man who works in the camp, an ultra-Orthodox camp, and all of a sudden he holds on his mommy and he was shaking. He's a 14-year-old boy.
God.
So the mommy says, what happened to you? Why did you get such a, shake? He says, Mommy, I would hate to tell you, you see this handyman? He did anal sex with me many times in
God.
camp. Wait, it's not finished.
Why wouldn't he say it before
So
then?
the mother says
you
to
heard
him,
this?
why didn't you tell me? Why didn't
Yeah.
you tell me? Don't I teach you that?
Right.
Because I keep on telling him that after a few days, you should always ask your child, is anybody bothering you? Is anybody molesting you?
Right, I ask every
So
day.
why didn't you tell me?
Right.
So you know what the guy says? You know what the boy
He
says?
was embarrassed.
No,
Oh.
worse than that.
Scared?
Because he said that if you say one word,
Right.
you will be dead meat. His mother got so upset, and then she started.
And why did he tell her then? Because she was
Because
there.
he saw because he
I'm
saw
in
the
trouble.
boy. I mean, he saw the
He didn't
predator.
think his mother could protect him?
No. He saw the boy. I'm sorry. The boy saw the predator, and he almost froze. It was an emotion that came from within. Now the mother is working. They should throw him out, and guess what? The yeshiva doesn't want to throw him out. The
Why?
camp doesn't want to.
Why?
Why? You know why?
Why?
For two reasons. Number one, he's a good worker, and number two, what does the rabbi care if the child is molested? And then they're afraid of lawsuits and everything. We're fighting them now tooth and nail because we just heard that he got his job back for this coming year because he's already fixing up the camp.
Why don't you just tell the parents,
Esty-
like, you're going to a camp and this
Esty, take
person
a
may or
phone
may
call.
not be?
Esty, take a phone call. Rabbi Rosenberg,
I'm not
we
hooked.
want to take some calls, see if somebody has a
Producer.
question.
So
for you
yeah,
out
this is
there.
the Just
not
Enough
hooked
Heshy
so
Show. You can
My
call in at
headphones.
718-303-9090. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
I think
Hello?
we're good.
Hello?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Yes.
Okay, you're on.
You're listening to me. Fine, thank you. My name is Vladimir Finkelberg. This is my third call to your show. I like it very much. I don't want to
Thank
get
you.
any step. I would like to express my sincere and deep appreciation from the bottom of my heart to Rabbi Rosenberg.
Thank you.
Because of him, we still have a hope. And we are not in denial that among us there are no predators. There are. And they are even worse than in any other nation. Any nation has them. And thanks to him, he is doing a holy job. Thanks to him.
Thank you too.
Many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
the
you
call.
for the call. Really.
Thank you.
One minute, I have a question. I want to ask him about his community. By the way,
Go
Esty, I got a
Yeah, he's
great,
still on
I got
there.
a great test that Esty
He's
is
still on,
doing.
by the way.
By the way, Esty's doing great in the question. Oh, caller, are you still on? I want to ask you a question.
Yes, please. I'm on. The only thing is why you are like hawks on Rabbi Rosenberg. Let him. You are just.
He does it to everybody. Don't
That's
think
my
it's just for
that's
him.
my job is to question. So you guys out there should be knowledgeable.
He doesn't even know what his job is,
Okay,
okay? Just
right.
leave him alone.
But I have a question
Yeah.
for you. Are you from the Orthodox or modern community or?
No, I am not from Orthodox. I am not from modern community. I am a Russian Jew. My mother was a Jew. My father was
And
a
in
Jew.
your community where you live, there is this big problem?
No, I am from Port Washington. I know that there is a problem in humankind, and I know that
It's
we are
not
not.
confined to religion. It's nothing to do with religion. It's everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just a humanity problem.
Okay.
Of course, I am of Jewish religion, of course, and I am a Jew. My wife is a Jew. Everybody is a Jew. I am not in my family, and I am two hands up for Jews. But
All
unfortunately,
right.
modern Jews are very much deviated from their path, and there are many deviants among us. and nothing can help that. The only thing that can help is the truth, and the truth must be learned, must be taught.
Truth is the light that you shine on.
Very good. Thank you so much for your call. We
Thanks for the
appreciate
Thank
call
you.
very much.
Okay, Rabbi.
Okay, Rabbi, go ahead. You got a few more minutes.
How do you want to close out?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so let me close out. Okay, I want you to know a little facts and figures. We have approximately 1 out of 5 children in every Talmud Torah claims that they're molested. I would say
1 out of 5.
I'm giving you now
20% of my class is molested.
20% in your class was molested.
And my child's class now.
You want to know something?
yeah.
Somebody was arguing with me. It's not true. It's not true.
It's not true,
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
not
whoa. I
true.
said to him, how many children do you have? He says 8. I said, I bet you dollars to donuts. You go home and you'll find one of your children.
It's
Oh,
true. I
not
know
true.
a family that every okay. By the way,
Dollar to donuts?
1.7.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't know a family where
You
someone
like
hasn't
We
been.
got to use that, Neil. That's very good. I was made a joke, everybody. We like that. Go
Dollar
ahead.
to donuts.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, now, in the Jewish community, girls, we have 1 out of 10 girls molested from women teachers. Yep. You know, you probably read the story what happened in Australia. They took a woman that she should be Malki Leifer. She should go down to Australia. She got a payroll of $150,000.
She was a woman teacher.
40-year-old woman with 8 children, and she molested 15 girls.
Yeah.
And the Rabbi Beck, he was the one that said, if anybody cooperates with the police, then I will throw him out. So one of these girls' father called me up and he says, Rabbi, what should I do? I said, listen, do you have a reformed rabbi in the community? He says, yes, we do. He gave me a number and I called up the rabbi and I said, this is what happened. And the rabbi said, listen, even though you're Orthodox and I'm Reformed, but children, we work together. It took them 15 minutes to get the police over. And the rabbi said in Yiddish, that's in Jewish, nobody should cooperate or I'll throw him out. So one of the congregants told the police what the rabbi said. And the police said, if they don't cooperate, I close this place down like a cult.
Wow.
And then what happens is this woman ran away to Israel. 4 years we're chasing her. And finally we found her. Now
She was teaching, no?
She was teaching girls.
Yes. The second time, like they fired her and then she got hired and had a, yeah.
Unbelievable. So this is all over in the papers. It's happening. Next.
By the way, the amount of people, when I was a kid, this was really weird. When I first learned about
We got another minute with him,
Okay,
so let him finish up
okay.
and you can say your question.
No, I'm
theory
talking
to
about,
that,
no, I learned about this very young and I didn't really know what was appropriate. I would like people who I was sort of friendly with, but a lot of people I asked, were you ever molested? And I got more answers than you would think, like just by asking
That's
people.
what's happening
Every
now.
second person, they had some sort of incident. It wasn't always violent.
exactly.
There's always something.
Well, can I say,
Yes.
just using logic, it's a very simple theory, is that people who are molesters are gonna be more attracted to these kind of jobs where they're around children. So it would make more sense that it's very common because the people that are looking for it are gonna find it. That's why it's happening so often.
Me and Neil are old timers.
Yeah.
So our generation, we know whatever the stories. You are a young
Yeah.
you're a young man. So have you heard stories from your local friends?
No, because in those
Not
times
really.
they didn't talk. It's
Yeah.
only
No,
the
no,
kids.
he's a young boy. He's in his 20s.
He's in his 20s, but
I don't think he would want to know or
Until
ask,
now-
or he's just not into that. He wouldn't have made the time.
I
or-
know.
People don't wanna
I know. When I was a kid and there was somebody molested, everybody knew about it. It was not kept hidden or quiet.
Do you think the
That's
Weberman-
the one that came out?
Do you
The
think
other
the
one didn't
Weberman
come out.
case like kind of publicly made it like a thing that people were more comfortable talking about it in the open? It kind of
Sure,
shattered
every
the box,
case,
so everything.
every
was
Rabbi
case-
Horowitz, he
every-
pushes.
Wait, you knew Joey, right?
What?
Joey D'Angelo?
Of course I knew him. I went to his funeral.
I went to his
also.
funeral also, yeah.
Did you see me there?
I don't know. I spoke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're the one
Nobody knew him. Everyone just knew what he'd done for the community.
I knew him.
Oh.
I knew him
Wilson.
because he lived in Williamsburg and he was a personal. When I saw what he looked like, I
You
said
knew
to
where-
him, tell me who did it to you because I'm not interested what they did to him.
Yeah.
I want to know who.
Who, yeah.
Would you believe a
Oh.
big rabbi that has a big shul? I don't have a shul to pray. He has his own shul. He told me exactly who it was.
Yeah.
And on my hotline, I keep on saying his name.
And it doesn't help?
Sure, it helps.
Oh.
Sure, it helps.
So they
People
got
are-
him? So
People are first
You have to
shocked.
press charges in order to get.
People are first shocked when they hear the name. Can't be.
I love it. Abusive men. Also, there's no way they're the nicest, sweetest people on the outside. They come home and beat their wives. Like everyone thinks that.
Wow, you guys are talking.
No,
I don't hear
you know
these
what I
stories.
love? Maybe
You
you know what I love?
Because
I
you
love it.
don't listen to anything that doesn't pertain to you.
That's true. You hear 1, 2 stories, but the way
True.
you guys are talking about it's
I
happening
love
on
how
every other
people think
household.
He
people-
says 20%.
Neil, 20% of the Jewish religious community
Yes!
No, of
is
all
beating,
communities, she
raping.
said.
No.
I don't know all
You don't
communities.
know the Jews.
I know Jewish
The
communities.
Jews
I believe
were
it.
all bad.
Okay, wait,
I've
wait.
heard
It's
that
not
many
possible.
stories. I've heard
You
them.
did not hear 20% of
You
the
want me
Jewish
to-
community.
I don't think it's. I can tell you stories.
20% of the Jewish community. It's
Down
not.
a little
It
bit.
can't be.
I want to tell you
You're
something.
killing me.
I want to tell you, it was 20% until now, but nobody was, when everybody's afraid to
Afraid to
talk.
talk.
Now it might go up, so don't scream so much. I want to tell you another
You mean
thing.
every one of my customers that comes in is a child molester?
No, can be.
Oh,
Everybody can be a child
Can be.
molester.
Right.
Everyone's
Very
stupid
good.
enough to think that I know this guy because I talked to him and I understand.
Right.
We never know what's going
Okay,
on in
right.
people's
I wanna
heads.
tell you-
Right.
20% of my synagogue are child molesters.
Might be.
Might be.
Up. Get
Might
it? I
be.
know every
And it
single
might be
one of
the
them.
last guy that you
It
think.
might be the
Wait a second, wait a
rabbi.
second.
It might
How
be
is
the
this-
rabbi's a child molester too. We're picking up
Oh,
rabbis every
stop.
week.
My rabbi,
Okay, wait,
Heshy,
Heshy.
Heshy.
Everybody's holy. They
Now
do
this
it all in
guy,
the name
this
of
guy's
holy.
an
Now,
angel.
the government's a holy
Hold
man.
on. Heshy,
Right.
every 5 children that get molested, 1 becomes a molester. Think about how much that grows. Think how long it's been, and think about 20%
I
is a
wanna
normal
tell you,
amount
he's-
based on it
And
keeps
thank
growing.
God for that woman that testified against Weberman,
Yeah.
because he was not only a molester, but he was a
Monster.
bully, a monster to people. You know, to the
I want to
parents
tell
and
you, you know,
everybody.
we have big Jewish communities. I want you to know these are the most vulnerable children, and I want to give you the list in one nutshell. Physical or mental abuse children, physical or mental health children are usually abused. Yesoimim, which means orphans, are usually abused. Divorced parents, the children are usually abused. Children from broken homes are usually abused.
True.
Children,
Oh my God, Rabbi
children-
Rosenberg.
Wait, just two
I'm
more.
gonna let you. That's it.
Two
Then I'm
more.
gonna talk.
Okay, children from poverty homes are usually abused because
They're
all
easy.
the guy has to say is, here's a lollipop.
That's true.
And I keep on telling the women, don't light candles on Shabbos and don't eat challah. Spend your money on goodies for the children, because otherwise they'll get it elsewhere. And then it's going to
Yeah.
cost a price. And also, when you're talking about stepchildren and stepbrothers and sisters,
Mhm.
which second marriage, they come together, those are people who are vulnerable. This is the list.
Rabbi Rosenberg.
Yeah, now we can talk.
I'm going to question you on this. I hope somebody calls in
Yeah.
about it, but you can put Norman on. But Rabbi Rosenberg, again, I am not too happy that Neil is shaking his head. 20% of the community is not sick. You and I. grew up-
Hello, every
Stop.
5.
Esther, I don't
What do you
I
mean? We
don't know.
breed them. We breed
Even
them.
if it's
I'm
not.
talking
Let's
to
say
Neil
it's
right now,
half.
but I'm talking.
Let's say it's
Hold on,
half.
SDC. I don't know the girls about
We
me.
breed them.
Let's say
Stop,
it's
stop.
half.
No, I'm not even gonna say it's half. You and me went to school together. So don't talk about me, Rabbi Rosenberg or
Hey, the
Z.
school I had a rabbi that was a molester,
Okay.
and he molested every year a new batch of kids.
Okay.
So,
When I went, hold on. Those are the
Who we
stories.
kidding?
Hold on. Those are the stories
And
you
also
heard.
in YU, the same thing happened
right.
in
Neil,
Yeshiva
you and me went to school for a couple of years together.
right.
None of our friends, not in our
I
school.
don't know. People keep quiet. It's not
Yeah,
the
but the
first
point
thing
is,
you
you and
walk
me
around.
have met
Remember,
hundreds.
they make you feel like you're the
But we've
you're
never,
the
you and I
troublemaker.
firsthand, and we've been around hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people and family. We don't know really
It's because it
firsthand.
wasn't talked about. I'm telling you, it
A man
wasn't
in my
talked about.
age,
I don't know.
65,
I know it happens, but 25%, just
again.
according to you, is the Jewish community in Borough Park alone. We have 150,000 families. I'm scared right now. Z, give me a number before I jump out the window.
What do you mean?
25%.
That's 30,000.
30,000 people in my community. That means for
Sounds
sure, as my
crazy.
kid walks down the block.
30,000 plus they're molesting. Each one is molesting a few kids. So what are you talking about? It could be 100,000 kids easily being molested.
You know what, boys? I'm telling you
And
now.
then-
And,
most of-
and And it's people like you in the old days that stayed in denial.
I'm not
that
in
didn't
denial.
let anything
I'm not in
happen.
denial. We teach our children, but
It just sounds very
would
high.
never.
It just sounds very high.
Neil,
I
would
hear
you
that.
ever see me sweep this under
It
the
sounds
carpet
very high.
in your life? Hold on. In all the years, you know me, would I ever sweep such a thing in my under?
Never
I would freak out.
knowingly doing it.
I would
No.
freak out and scream.
No.
And I'm telling you, if I saw
You're just
25,
suspicious.
right, but 25% of the community,
It's a
you're-
big
A
number.
it's not
rabbi,
true.
Big number.
a rabbi has 30 children at his disposal, and if he's a pedophile, he takes at least 10 or 15 from these children
The most
every
dysfunctional
year,
ones, yeah.
every year again.
And you know what
you have to
happens?
go
And if
so
it's-
hard.
And
He
what
takes
happens?
2 from this class, 2 from another class. He's going around. What do you think? He's grooming. He knows exactly what he's doing.
And
He
you know what
knows
happens?
which boys-
All those boys, right?
Okay.
15 of them, that means 3 of them become
You know, you're
pedophiles.
right.
What
You
happens?
know what?
More and more.
So
I
you
wanna
know,
leave
what?
you-
I have somebody to blame, and Rabbi Rosenberg, I know who to blame.
Who?
I blame your God.
Has nothing to do with
God,
God.
it's God's fault.
It's not
Right?
God's
Didn't you
fault.
find the God guilty?
Right. By the way,
Right.
I
Okay,
watched.
okay.
By the way,
Did-
I want to tell you this. I watched a movie yesterday with my children about people in the Holocaust who were in the concentration
Right.
camps, and they were very angry that they were going to die in the concentration camps. So they went and they created a bezdin. A bezdin, let me explain for the audience, is 3 judges. That's the way it's done always. And they put God on trial, not for murder, because you can't put somebody for murder. They said they put him on breach of contract, that he broke the covenant with God. So they blame God. So there is a God. So it's your God that is doing this.
It's not my God. I keep on saying in my hotline that down the road we're going through another Holocaust because of all this sexual
Zombie
molestations.
apocalypse.
And God says in Parshas Emor, you can look it up. He says if you're not going to do right, if you're going to molest children, that's what the flood is all about. in
So it's
Parshas
God's
Noah.
fault.
No, it's our fault.
Why? God created us this way.
Well, it's the U.S. No, he didn't. It's the U.S. government's fault that they make laws.
The
country
government makes
has
laws to
be-
molest the children?
No, I'm saying that they make laws, and if you go through a red light, you say it's the policeman's fault. Listen, you have to understand one thing. You have to obey God's word. Whether you like it or not, it's going to haunt you at the end of the day. Not you, everybody. Now, I want to tell you one more thing that you should be aware of, and this is very important. You're saying it can be so many.
Right, right,
So
right.
I want to tell you, I was also a kid. You know, I didn't become 60 years old out of, by
I'm
itself.
50 years old. I didn't
Okay,
become
I
by
wanna
itself
tell you,
either.
I remember I learned in Satmar and Cheder. We had a lot of, let's say, Kita Aleph, first grade.
First grade, second
We had
grade.
6 or 7 first grades. Now they have maybe 20 or 30. And I know. But anyway, so I remember this distinctly, and I keep on repeating it on my hotline. When a boy from the 5th grade went to the 6th, that means that we went from the 4th to the 5th, right? Okay. Every child, as innocent as they were, they would tell you, if you dare fall into that rabbi, he's what they call a toucher. That's what we used to call him. A toucher means
I have a story like
that
that.
he would
It's gossip. Little kids gossip.
Let him finish.
Oh,
Please
stop.
let him finish.
You know the story.
Please
that
let him
teacher.
finish.
That teacher is a Corva.
Hello.
That teacher is a.
I have
that
such a
guy's
funny
a
story
bean
about
guy.
this.
There's
By the way,
something
let me finish.
let him finish the
If the,
story.
if the kids would have known this, then why didn't the principals fire the
Because of
guy?
They
those
don't do
days,
it.
they
There's
didn't do
politics.
They
it.
didn't even know what that was.
He's
Okay,
so
tell the story. I
silly.
want to hear the story. Go for it.
And they would say, if you get into this Rebbe, he takes you and he puts you on, on your lap, and the other one would say, if you fall into that Rebbe, he unzippers your zipper. And if you fall into that Rebbe, he physically undresses you
Oh my
and
God.
spanks you.
No.
They didn't want to show out that it's, sexual abuse. So they would spank you like they want to hurt you. We all knew every teacher before we started the semester or the year who we're going into.
Right.
my
And every
God.
father knew it.
Right.
No.
And
Yes.
that's how I grew
Yeah,
up. Did you go to
I-
yeshiva?
By
I
the
went
way,
to yeshiva, but
hold
I
on, I
agree
have a
with
good
what
story.
you say.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details. I had a cousin who, I don't want to say which yeshiva, but they went, and everybody knew there was a certain grade Rebbe that he did these things, right? So Nebuch, something happened to someone I know, and he got really messed up because this rabbi molested him. But his brothers, when they grew up, and they were more of the wild kind, and one of the Rebbes tried to do something, and he's like, come to my house, we're going to study. So they made this thing, a bunch of boys. This one boy was going there, right? And he goes inside and he's playing along. And then like all 5 of his friends come inside once he starts trying to do things with this boy. They beat beat him up like nothing. He couldn't go to the
Okay,
cops.
Esty, you're gonna win.
Because
Esty,
that would be-
Esty, I want to
Street
take a few. Now that Rabbi Rosenberg,
That was a
and you-
good story. So
Esty,
like they messed him up, but he'd
okay.
already, yeah.
Esty, I want you to take a few callers, and we'll do some ads afterwards. So take a caller, take a line.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. You can call in at 718-303-9090. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hi, Esty. How you doing tonight?
Hi.
Whoa.
Wow, Mitch, you went straight for Mitch. Not,
Easy.
you gotta ask all of us.
It's
But
not
go
that
ahead.
kind of a show,
Right,
guy.
but Esty's doing real good. Go ahead.
First of all, the point I want to make, which is very, very important, is first of all, as I'm looking around here on, of course, you're on YouTube. I just want to make mention to you. You have these nice-looking guys with yarmulkes, nice-looking young lady there. But I want to make one point. It has nothing to do specifically with the Jewish or religious Jewish community.
Thank you.
Litigation has gone on for thousands of years. I don't even know how long it's going on. It's in the Jewish community. It's in the Catholic community. It's in the Protestant community. The major point is that we have to do a better job of talking to our kids and telling them that we're on their side and understanding that when you send a kid, for example, to a summer sleepaway camp and you have 18-year-old kids taking care of 12 kids in a bunk, I don't know. For some reason, I always found that to be a little weird. I want
No.
Come on, it's
Come
not
on,
weird.
stop.
Why is it weird?
No, I agree. I don't know if Mitch is
That's why we have a counselor and a
I was
junior
going to say, there's
counselor.
usually more than one guy.
And there's
two.
three now. Now there's even three counselors.
Right.
Let him talk.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's a weird, it's always been a really strange situation. I have to tell you, you gotta check out camps. This is not, I don't care whether you're going to a very formal camp or you go to a modern camp like Marshall. It doesn't matter.
Mitch,
You have to
you're
check it out.
1,000% on the money, and that's why
Why is
the
it weird?
the real rule should be never 3 people or less, anywhere, any place, anyhow.
I agree.
And that's the bottom line. Absolutely. And these yeshivas and these camps, they are afraid to implement it. And they'll tell you, oh, this kid needs his privacy to talk to this one. Oh, because he's a this problem, that problem. It's private. It's this, it's that. You know, it's a lot of hogwash. Go in middle of the baseball field, sit down
You see, Neil?
where you're in public, and let everybody see you talking to someone. No 2 people should ever be where people can't see
Neil,
them.
so
That's it. I don't trust.
One minute,
I
Neil,
don't
Neil. You
trust.
see what you're doing? You and Rabbi Rosenberg, you're shaming other people.
No,
Wait.
I'm holding them
Hold
back
on,
from
wait. I want to
temptation.
just tell you, you know that there was a lady who was breastfeeding her kid on the plane or whatever. Some guy takes pictures to shame her on the internet. Look what she's doing. She has no right to do this in public or on the side there. Explain this to me. You're just telling me that you can say whatever you want, shame whoever you want?
Nobody's
No.
shaming anybody.
Don't mix the 2 up, Heshy.
Yeah,
Don't mix the 2 up.
up again.
That's the thing of feeding a child. It's amazing how the two get into the same subject matter. You know, I don't, unfortunately, my wife is no longer with us, but I can tell you one
I'm
thing.
sorry.
I can tell you one thing. She used to feed my now like 20-year-old kids, you know, in public, whatever. And believe me, there was nothing to see. If you're going to get really horny by checking that out, you know, whatever, shame on you. But I think one very important point is molestation is one case, but let's talk more to our kids. Let's tell them, for example,
Right.
Okay.
first of
You
all,
have to know what to look for. You have to know to be aware. 100%.
Yeah, but
Mitch,
I
that's very
just-
good. Mitch, you have a question for our, because we only take another caller. You have a question for Rabbi Rosenberg or just what else?
my question to the rabbi very much is this. The idea that when you send a kid to yeshivas or institutions in that concept, don't we have to have that the parents must have more of a part in terms of these institutions? I think that sometimes the Rosh Yeshivas, the head of the schools, seem to have all the power
in terms of deciding and not deciding things.
They do in most cases.
So this is what I teach
That's
them.
another thing. Hitting children. You should have no right. Let me tell you something. My house, I didn't hit my kids. Guess what? If when I was a kid, my parents didn't hit me. I used to get slapped by the Rebbe's all the time. And when my mother found out that happened, I was too scared to tell her because I didn't want her to know. But my mother was so bad that I didn't have the feeling to tell her. So my mother actually picked herself up and said, "You know what? If you do that one more time, I'm taking."
Wow, beautiful.
Out of the yeshiva.
And that's what I agree. We all did. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for your call, my friend.
Be well.
Next.
Well, next, yeah,
So,
that was
yeah.
very interesting. You see,
Want me to take another phone call? Yeah,
go ahead. Take another call.
This is the Just Enough Heshy Show. You can get us on Facebook and Twitter. We're on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. You can call in at 718-303-9090. Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Hi, Esty. How are you?
Norm.
Norman.
Hi, Neil.
How are you?
I'm fine, Neil. I like what you say, Neil. With like they said, you're the man of reason. First of all, Heshy's very infantile when it comes to.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, well, because you never listen to
Let's
what
leave him
anybody
alone.
says.
Let's leave him alone.
Let me talk, just like the rabbi wanted to talk. First of all, it was one of the best shows you had, and thanks to this rabbi.
Thank you.
And he's an important man in your community because you have a very sick community. Just like in
25% of the community. You agree with
yes,
that?
I believe it.
Of course you believe it. No,
you don't want to listen.
Anybody believes in God?
Let him
Go ahead.
talk.
Go ahead.
When I told you why do kids join gangs, I bet you don't even remember what I said to you because you never listen. You always like to argue. The reason why those kids join gangs is if they're put into foster homes or if they're put into orphanages, they get molested. And the only place they feel safe is amongst themselves. Now, another thing, a girlfriend of mine, she was molested by her grandfather from the time she was 6 till she was 17, and she told her parents.
Thank you, Norman.
Excuse me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're proving Heshy wrong.
Listen, she told her parents, they didn't believe her, and she, you know what? Just like the aunt in Lost in Yonkers, she packed up her bags and never looked back. I will tell you this. If you want to read the book, there's a book called The Color of Water. It's about a rabbi's daughter, and the rabbi was molesting his daughter.
Is that a true story or is that fiction?
It's a true story. It was one of the best-selling books on the New York Times best list.
Yeah.
It's by a man named James McBride. It's a great book, and you'll see what this woman accomplished.
The Color of Water?
Yes, The Color of Water by James McBride.
I'm going to get that one. I'm going to check into that.
And this woman came to Red Hook, and you'll understand what she did. Now, I want to tell you, there was a camp. One time I turned onto a Jewish station, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and all these kids were talking that they went to summer camp, and every year they got molested. And they would tell their parents, and the parents didn't want to listen.
Right.
So was it like scheduled, like 3 o'clock basketball, 4 o'clock?
No, you can make a joke, Zeeb. It's not a joke.
Why do they keep on going back?
Because the parents in those days did not listen to the children. They would smack the kid before they would listen that this rabbi did something wrong.
I want to hear what Rabbi Rosenberg says about Snowman. I want to hear Rabbi Rosenberg. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Neil, the parents still don't listen. Now, I'm just going to tell you what's going on in the United Nations now. You know that.
I read about it, yes. Unbelievable.
Yes, in Bosnia, from Bosnia to Africa to wherever UN troops are sent, where there's a problem, the soldiers rape the women, the boys, and the girls. This has
the
just
French
come
soldiers.
Out.
Yeah, it was on. The French soldiers are doing that.
It's
all over, right.
Listen, it was the Italian soldiers.
Right.
And I want to tell you one other horror story. This is with the Catholic Church. And this happened in Milwaukee. There was a home for boys that were deaf. And they would stay at this home, permanently, or I don't know what happened, but anyway, at night when the boys went to sleep, the priest would grab one boy and molest him. Now, if the boy screamed and everybody is deaf, then nobody hears his screams.
Wow.
Well,
This is terrible.
all the boys were getting molested, and guess what? They couldn't sleep anymore.
Okay.
And what went on in Ireland with the priest? Now, all the Irish people want to leave the Catholic Church.
Okay. Norman,
every time listen.
Norman, I got you. Norman, I got it. I'm very horrid right now where I hear you saying.
Yeah, because you don't face reality.
I do face. I'm learning about this. I thought I was more knowledgeable about it. Don't criticize for something that I'm asking questions. I know there's molestation. I know. Don't tell me what I know. I know everything, and I'm hearing now more stories. Again, it's stories.
I know everything, but I'm hearing more than the everything already know.
Hello, Norman, chill. I'm hearing stories. I have to be judged and seen. I'm sorry, Norman. Stop with your criticism. I heard your stories. I got you, Norman. Thank you for your call tonight. No, you better say one last.
Why aren't you accepting it?
I do accept it. I do accept it. I'm getting upset about it. I am disappointed.
Listen, Neil. Listen, Heshy. When the truth is found to be lies, all within you dies. And I want to tell you one last thing. I did try and help because I know a lot about drugs. I tried to help the boys in the Jewish community in Midwood, and those that were involved in that community ostracized me, and I had to leave from helping these boys. They did heroin, they did cocaine, they did other drugs. Now I know a lot of them were molested.
Okay.
You don't want to believe it.
Thank you, Norman. I do believe you. I believe you.
Heshy, I want to ask you a question. If you were molested, you think you could live with that?
I was never molested, and I thought I was taught correctly by my mother. I was taught correctly how to.
Could you live with it?
Woman, I don't understand it because I taught my children about
that's
it.
what you can't understand.
And I teach many children about it. Whoever I tell my children and I tell them to tell their friends. You cannot. Okay, so I got you. I don't want to experience it. I haven't experienced being shot, and I don't know that.
Heshy, well, I'm asking you a question. If you were molested and somebody held you down and 5 men had sex with you, do you think you could live with it?
I don't understand it because it would never happen.
What do you mean you don't?
It would never happen.
His brain cannot comprehend it. It's too painful.
I don't understand that. Anyways, thank you, Norman. Take another caller. Go ahead, Esty. Thank you, Norman.
So yeah, you're.
I don't know. Norman was on the money tonight.
I don't know, but Esty, take another caller, and we're gonna ask about.
Hi, Shlomo.
Hello, Shlomo.
Shlomo.
Yeah, I wanted to just ask Rabbi one question. The Orthodoxy create this condition?
No.
Or the restrictions that they place?
No.
No. It's all over. It's in the church. It's in the Catholics.
It doesn't make for a good headline.
It's in sports. It's in wherever they were kids.
Whatever they were kids. It's all over.
Yeah.
We get together sometimes with other communities, like with Christian communities, with Muslim communities, because we have one common denominator to stop it. They all suffer the same. Whether it's the same amount that we have in the Jewish community or not, I don't know. But it's irrelevant.
When I say Orthodoxy, I didn't only mean Judaism. I meant Christianity too, Catholicism.
Yes, it's all. Why is it shaking? It's all over the same. It's a humanitarian problem and not a religious problem. We have to teach the children from when they're small, and we have to teach them what's right from wrong. And if they grow up on the right track, then it's very good.
Rabbi Rosenberg, how many children do you have?
7, thank God.
So 1 out of your 7 was molested?
Maybe yes, and maybe not. I wouldn't know the answer to that. I would not know the answer.
According to the figures, for sure.
Well, according to the figures. And just because you're touching me personally, do I say that it's different? I don't know. I just don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Wow.
And anyway, that's
okay, Shlomo, thank you for your call, my friend, tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, he does want to hear something. Okay, you should have let him finish. Okay, take line 2.
Hello, you're on the air with Uncle Heshy.
Yeah, Rabbi Rosenberg, you gave a stat before that 30,000 people, and that's a Greenfield.
Hold on, you got to identify yourself first. That's rule number 1. Hi, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah.
Rabbi Rosenberg.
Yes.
Yeah, who's this?
Let him say. Let him say. He can be anonymous. Go ahead.
30,000. You really believe that 30,000 people in Borough Park and Flatbush and Williamsburg?
No. Sorry, Borough Park, Flatbush. You got your own numbers.
Oh my God! I mean, Rabbi Rosenberg, have you ever been to Yankee Stadium? There's going to be a game tonight. Can you imagine 30,000 people leaving tonight's game,
Listen.
and they're all molesting people at 10:30 tonight? Are you crazy?
Listen. First of all, let's put it this way.
I don't understand, Tzvi.
First of
And
all,
I'm going to let you answer good. Tzvi, am I crazy? Because according to the numbers that you just came up with, I'm going to be one of the 30,000, or you could be one of the 30,000. Oh, tonight we had 8 callers. One of them for sure was a molester.
I'm afraid to go to that game tonight because Rabbi Rosenberg holds everybody.
Do you have any?
We can all make fun of this
Do you have any?
crap.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
know, it's enough, Heshy. You can all make fun and man.
No, but
and
if I
it
have to
doesn't
watch
matter
everybody-
what the number is.
Sure, then I can't
If it's
stop it.
15,000 or 30,
So I should just jump out the window and kill
if it's
myself.
15,000
Just watch out.
or 30,000, it actually makes no difference.
It's only going to get worse according to Rabbi Rosenberg.
It is. That's a fact.
The world's going
The
to
only
hell.
thing
Not really.
saving it from getting worse is that people talk about it.
Hold on. Go ahead.
That's all.
Go ahead, caller.
Rabbi Rosenberg is labeling an entire Jewish community.
Correct.
It's wrong to label an entire Jewish community, just like it's wrong to say every Christian is a molester. Come on. I mean,
What are you
it's
talking?
I think
He
every Jew is
said
a molester. He said a large
20%,
percentage.
25%.
By the way, you know how many mikvahs we have in Borough Park? We have, I would say, a good at least maybe
It's not only
more than
done in the
100
mikvah. It's not
No, we
only
have more than 100 mikvahs, he said, and you found one that had a
Private
problem.
tutoring,
It's not
therapists, they're
only in the
everywhere.
mikvah, they're everywhere.
I don't know.
It's the
Okay,
guy
so
in
we
the
should get-
bakery shop. It's the
so we
guy
should
in the
get-
grocery store. It's the guy in the fruit store.
Neil, stop it.
No, I'm not going to stop.
Okay, so
What's your point, Neil? What's your point, Neil?
What's
What's
your point? Get rid of fruit stores.
No, my point is educate the kids as much as possible that they should always talk. No secrets.
No,
You know, like I just heard.
Not only that, if somebody approaches them and touches
You know
them,
what?
it's-
I just heard a story from a niece of mine that the kids made stuff for Shavuos to bring home, and it had to dry overnight, whatever. So the teacher told the kids, keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody. And within a half hour of the kids getting home, the teacher had 20 phone calls. What's going on? My kid has a secret. What that. Because they were trained properly that if there's something of a secret, this and that, you come tell mommy right away.
My mother taught us that.
And
If
that
someone
was
says,
great
don't tell
training,
people,
and that just happened. And it shows that if you teach and educate properly, you could stop it. You could.
Wow, I like that teacher.
No.
That teacher taught the parents a lesson. If so, nobody would have. That teacher, I think, is a
I
smart
read
teacher.
that too. I read that too.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Right.
Parents have to be good parents, and teachers have to be good teachers. And when there's a problem, you deal with it. But to go label an entire community,
He said it's possible. There's potential.
Out of my 20-something teachers that I went through, I had one guy that they accused and one idiot. But the point being is most teachers
You
were
only
good.
went through 20 teachers.
Yeah, maybe.
And let me ask
Maybe a
Brother
little bit
Rosenberg, what is the stat for people making up stories?
It's very
Children would never make up stories because
Never.
they're too
Hold on.
innocent to make up a story
That's not true.
unless when they're
Teenagers,
from
That's not true.
Teenagers?
12, 13,
Well, he's giving you a
Well,
list.
there's a story in a community which I'm sure you're familiar with. I don't want to give the city or state on the ear, but I'm sure you're familiar with it. And he's only accused by one person. The guy's a Rebbe for like 30 years.
Hold on,
One person.
Weberman.
I very find that Rabbi Rosenberg is very rare that a guy would only molest one person in 30 years.
Weberman. One person.
Okay,
I'm not talking about
if everybody's on the screen,
Okay.
I will not
I'm
take the mic. Let me put you in place one
Thank
by
you for
one.
your call, Shlomo.
I'm just curious because hold on.
Number one, it doesn't
Yeah,
mean
sorry,
that
go
it's one person. You mean one person came out. That's what it means, okay? I was in Joseph Coco's case in New Jersey, not Yehuda Coco. And there was only one person. And his lawyer said there's only one person. And the judge wanted to let him go. But before he let him go, the prosecutor said, I want to come back tomorrow. And guess what? They brought 4 more children. Do you know what kind of intimidation the Jewish community has not to come forward?
Right.
There is a boy that came forward and he arrested somebody for 5 years. Do you know that boy is home already 4 years? No yeshiva are taking him in. Do you know when his father walks in the street, everybody spits in his face? Do you know the intimidation that I got just because I kept on teaching the people? Well, it's one person. It's not one person. You mean one person had the guts to come forward. Now, let me put it to you this way.
You have 20,000 listeners or caller who are listening to your show.
Yes.
Most of them are from Williamsburg.
No. They're from Williamsburg, Borough Park, Flatbush. They're from
So you have a lot of people that do agree with your opinion.
Oh, most of them agree.
And why are they not helping you and coming and joining, pray with them?
How can they help me?
They live in Williamsburg. You can go pray with them.
Wait a minute. I went into a rabbi that wanted me to come to daven to him. They called him up at night. If Rabbi Rosenberg comes in again, we'll burn up the house. You don't know what's going on.
It's mafia. What do you think it is?
He doesn't know what's going on.
It's mafia.
I just wanted to add one thing because the guy.
This is a shot. You see a hole in my head.
The guy was asking.
This was a shot.
Hold on a second.
You know, I was supposed bleach. I was blind for 1.5 days. With God's help,
but
now
they
I can
shot you
see.
in the head too?
Yeah, do you see a hole there? Take out the Daily News about 6 years ago. You'll see a
real bullet.
That I don't know. That I don't know because I fell down unconscious and they picked me up.
So it was like a BB gun or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. It makes no difference.
Make it light of it. Make it light of it.
It makes no difference.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're not afraid to kill. We have somebody who was killed in Williamsburg. Nobody found out who did it, and they probably won't find out. It has nothing to do with sexual molestation. These people are powerful people, if you've ever seen power.
No, they're animals. They're not powerful people. They're animals.
All the rabbis.
No, we're not talking about rabbis.
He's talking about the rabbis.
The Vadatznias
and
all such kind of
the
things.
Liaisons.
Right.
The liaisons.
What about the Shoimim? The Shoimim too.
The same thing. They're the
terrible,
same
right?
terrible people.
Oh, come on. I like the Shoimim.
Okay. So you like
them because you're like a little fuck.
Crazy boy. What?
No, like you're an idiot.
But the Shoimim protect the people. Right. They watch out. They make bike drives.
They also do things wrong.
What?
Yes.
Oh, it can't be.
It's
like saying a doctor can't be an alcoholic.
They're all volunteers.
Why can't a doctor be an alcoholic?
So why are they wasting the time for being volunteers?
They're not volunteers. They get COVID. They get.
All the Shoimim.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
All the Shoimim are getting paid off by the child molesters.
What? No.
There's
so many other problems.
So many other
problems.
They
have police sirens. They can go through the lights.
Okay, but they're doing good.
By the way,
but when it comes to big money, they take big money.
By the way, so the Shomer from Borough Park, I feel like they will help anyone, but I actually had problems with the showman from Flatbush. That's when I got arrested.
So what makes you think that it's any different with any showman?
It's not. What I'm saying is I have actual proof.
That there are a few nice guys
Let me tell you.
join,
Hold on. Let me explain.
And that's it. The rest of it is all thuggery, and that's all.
Basically, my
friend. And everybody's afraid to open their mouth. I'm sorry, Steve, for interrupting you. Everyone's afraid to open their mouth. Like guys like Heshy, even they get afraid of these people, and they don't want to say.
It's one bad apple, and you blame everybody.
Because the head of the showman should be throwing that apple out. He should say, no, you can't have a siren, you can't have a place guard, and you can't have a walkie-talkie, and you can't come on calls. Correct. That's what he should be doing. But instead, he has other scams going on, and he doesn't have time for this crap.
In Williamsburg, there was a showman. Somebody molested a boy. So he went to the police. The 90th precinct calls up the showman, and they call up the predator, and they said, come down right away and file a counter complaint. So this way, this guy files a complaint on him. The other guy makes a counter complaint.
Maybe it was true.
Maybe what's true. Maybe what's true.
Somebody would file a counter complaint.
What, that he hit him? No, he said that he hit him, and that's why he's coming to say that he molested this child.
Oh, stop. Oh, my God. Really? You hit me. That's why I molested you. I can understand I hit you back.
No, the guy molested someone, and the guy went to the cops. The cops called showman and called the guy who molested the kid and said, you better go in there and say that you were beat up or smacked around by this kid.
So then you now
by the father of the kid.
By the father of the kid.
You see how you get into the story? Well, what happened was the kid hit somebody. and he went down. The guy went to complain. So they told the kid, go down, say he molested you, and nothing will happen. That was the real story, guys.
Okay.
That's the real story.
Hold on, I was trying to say before, when the guy called in to say how many of these cases proved out to be fake. I'm just curious. It's very easy to prove if something did happen.
Why don't you go on the internet and
hold on? How does anybody ever prove that it didn't happen?
You can't prove.
How do you ever prove that something didn't happen?
Well,
you can eventually find proof that something did happen.
How
do you prove something?
Right.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, good.
I'm saying, but how do you ever know that this kid isn't telling the truth just because they couldn't find any proof? It doesn't mean that it never happened. Who knows how much more is happening?
Let me explain to you the way it works. The law system of the United States works. There's, first of all, the detective talks to you. Most of the cases come through a psychologist because the detectives would send the boy to a psychologist.
And they're required anyway.
Right. So after the psychologist says, I feel that it's true, and after the police investigates and they say it's true, they take weeks and months until they investigate, they cross-examine and everything. And at the end of the day, if they feel they have a case, it goes for a jury. Now, this is the law system.
Right.
You can ask on everything in the United States. Why can they pick up this?
No, 100%.
It's not done that you pick up somebody because somebody complained.
Sometimes it's hard to prove. But I'm just saying, just because it never got taken to trial doesn't mean it never happened for sure. There's no way to ever know.
Right. The psychologist would ask, first of all, if there's marital problems by the parents, if this or that. Because
the kid's acting out to get revenge for something, some
because
problem.
The mother say that, whatever. Listen, there is a system, and we live with the system. If it's 100% accurate, we just released 17 people who were sitting in jail for 20 plus years, because they were never even on the crime scene. I don't know if you read about what's happening.
But the DNA with that detective who made up stories.
So many stuff. You know what, DNA? Do you know bananas have half-hour DNA? So stop it. I want to ask you a question. I just heard a story. A guy was calling because somebody made a complaint that he did something wrong. They come into the house looking for the little kid. It's not true. So they go on his computer and they say, oh, look, I found something on your computer bad. It is the complaint and the email. The complaints are coming in as lies sometimes to set up the next guy or to come in.
1 minute, you just said they found him with something.
No, they didn't find. They found a picture on his computer.
Porno of a child.
Okay,
that's enough.
Isn't that illegal?
1 minute, it's illegal. One minute, hold on.
Isn't that illegal?
You told me in the car anybody can download whatever they want.
1 minute.
It's America.
Do you want to start giving out the websites and shul and stuff to all the child pornography sites?
Maybe it was a virus in his computer that.
So they'll figure it out.
Oh, you never.
They'll figure it out.
Hello, is that possible?
Anything is possible.
Z, that you could come into my computer and set me up.
Anything is possible.
Do you know today on the telephone they take a picture naked of somebody or yourself and you can zap it into somebody else's phone and I have to push the button. Now, it doesn't happen to me, but I'm saying
unfortunately.
Stop it. The point being is anybody can do that and you're stuck. Oh my God.
Right. And they know when it's being zapped to you. They know all this.
They know all that. The FBI can retrieve all the information.
We think that they don't know things.
Nobody said
they don't act on it because they have their own political reasons why things are act on and not act on. Okay? Believe you me, the DA, if he wakes up one morning and he decides that he wants to work for a living, he can take 100 cases overnight and turn them into open cases, open files, and he can make people miserable and put people away, no problem. Okay, they don't have the will to do that. They have a will to do up to a certain point, and that's it. They want to show that they're doing their work.
You can do the same thing to innocent
people. Sure. That's why I'm not for the death penalty unless somebody actually sees it.
Wait a minute. So what does it have to do with child molesting? You walk in the street, somebody says you hit him, and then you're finished. So wait a minute. So what you're saying is that the law system is nothing worth? No, you still live in this country, and you have to comply with it. And sexual abuse is no different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody can be complaining.
And I think the real shocking part is that who's doing it. You know, we don't understand because in our heads we think these are people that are like from greatness and this and that. But in the end, they got an illness like anybody else can have an illness, and that's it.
I remember a story.
I want to do something before we come to the end of the show, which I'm going to give you some more time, all right? But we are listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. We're on Mondays and Tuesdays, 7 to 9, so we will be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're going to really freak out what we got on as a guest.
Who's that?
I'll tell you at the end of the show, because I don't want to shock you. By the way, I will shock you. A Jewish sex therapist is coming, an Orthodox. But anyways,
wow.
Anyways, Mr. Clean, Dry Clean, cleaners. He delivers, he picks up. You can do mrcleandelivers@gmail.com. I don't have to spell that for you. You get 25% off the first call, or just call him 347-369-3051, 3051, 347-369-3051. We have the Black Label electronic cigarettes.
It's Nike.
Nike, and I he's still not married yet, but I posted on our website, BL Premium, PREMIUME.com, or just go to the Just Enough Heshy
Did his
Facebook
prices
page.
come down
His
yet?
prices are coming down here. He said he's going to have a sale this week, like, I don't know, buy 10, but you get 2 free and $1 something each. You have,
I thought
again,
it gives you a nail in the
I don't
coffin.
know. Stop always
You
questioning
need 30
me.
nails to close the coffin.
You have,
Yeah.
and then of course you have Green Line Building Solutions. We do.
Now, what do you guys do over
We
there?
do asbestos testing. We have people, and we have lead inspections, and then we check it over. We give
In
you
other words, you
reports.
have your people,
We have
you have
people
your
that we
legal
send to you,
people,
and
your
we do
architecture people,
architects, right?
all kinds of people,
Expediters, right?
expediters, people who help you
With
in the
ECB
city.
violations,
Like when you walk in, everybody
we have
smiles. They all
architects that
know
we
who you
we have
are.
architects that work directly hand in hand with us,
Sure,
and contractors.
sure.
Anyways, we also do HPD
I believe they're
violations.
in-house, no?
right?
Aren't they sitting right there?
Yeah. And we have code compliance officers. We teach you. We do preventive maintenance. We help you
Yeah.
lift your stop work orders. And of course, don't forget, you have our Just Enough Heshy webpage where you can email us any questions. We'll bring it up on the show.
Yeah, hashtag.
I forgot my Twitter, which I'm really doing well. I think we were up to 100, then we dropped down to 80, and we're back up. I don't know how it works
Okay.
exactly. So we do have the we have the
Okay.
hashtag Just Enough Heshy. And I do, if you join my if you want to send us an email, I can put you on the WhatsApp or the Twitter, and you'll see my daily quotes, even though people complain
Which
about
is
it.
wonderful.
Which you do see, and my
Which
trivia,
is
which is very
wonderful.
good.
And
Anyway.
don't forget about who is it, Mr. Lefkowitz, who can put you into shape before the summer
Mr.
comes. If you
Lefkowitz,
start
correct.
now, he's on 48th and
Yossi
16th in
Lefkowitz,
Borough Park.
Correct. 347-816-5207.
Man with a lot of certificates in fitness.
Right, we're coming to the end of the show, so
we are coming. We have 2 minutes
We have
left
2 minutes. So I'm going to give you about a minute to give us a closing statement.
Okay.
And
because
also
then we got to go.
give us your phone number first of all, one more time.
951
Tell people what the number's for.
It's the hotline where you can hear in Yiddish about what to teach the children and stories that's
Okay,
going
give the
on.
number.
Very
Go ahead,
important.
go ahead.
951-262-3714. Now, to conclude the show,
30
I just want to say one thing. Everybody has to be aware, if your child was molested, you must take action. You must take him to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you call right away the police. Sometimes the psychologist and the psychiatrist would call the police because they're mandatory reporters. But don't think it's going to heal by itself. If you do think so, you're wrong. Most of these children who are molested and nobody takes care of them, when they become in their teenagers, they go on drugs, and at the end of the day, they commit suicide. We used to have every week one suicide in the Orthodox community.
Really?
And now, thank God, it went down. We have one in every 3 or 4 months. Why? Because the education is here. We had one in Muncie, an Orthodox bocher. He just hung himself in the toilet in his house. We're working very hard, but the only way we can accomplish it if you go to the police and if you arrest the predators.
Thank you, Rabbi Rosenberg.
Thank you, Rabbi Rosenberg.
Thank you very much. And guys, we are coming to the end of the show. Z, I like this one, Rabbi Rosenberg, very informative. If you have questions or you first
Got
want to
people
listen to
all
the
fired
show,
up. It was
there's
great.
always a way to ask. If you have any questions for Rabbi Rosenberg or you need advice, you need him to call you, email us at justenoughheshy@gmail.com and we'll find a way to text it or get it over to him. Do you have an email address or something that people can email you?
Yes, it's nr5155@gmail.com.
Can they get that anywhere on your telephone line or?
They can get it on the computer.
On the computer. Excellent. I am going to close with my closing quote, and I want you to listen to this, Neil, okay? This is for you, my son, okay? Never give up. When you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, till it seems as though you could not hang on a minute longer, never give up then. For that is just the place and time that the tide will turn for you. This means I'm not knocking you, Rabbi Rosenberg. There are people who are molested. There are people in trouble and strife. There are people that are hurting. There are people without jobs who don't have something to eat. I know your situation. I'm talking to the children now and to the men who are grown ups or molested. try not to go out and go molest. Try to get help. I don't believe you should go to a private town in the middle of Florida somewhere for that. I think that's crazy. But try your best. If you need some help, maybe we can get you some help.
Some real help. That's all.
Thank you for listening in. Tune in again tomorrow.
Don't forget-
Who's the guest speaker? Tell
Justin
everybody again.
Heshy, Rabbi Nachum Bozenberg. Thank you tonight. It was a
Thank
great
you.
show.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Thank